streaming here. And let me MIXLR. This is for just in case purposes. What is happening?
Hey.
All right, so we're streaming. YouTube is up.
What's up, YouTube?
How you guys doing on YouTube, man? Let's see if we got anybody in here yet. We'll give them a few minutes to join.
Share that link again. I posted something, but I think I did it to my personal one. Damn it. Hang on, let me try to see if there's an option to go ahead and put them on Facebook too. Because the way I could do that, I would just do it.
I think what is it? I think someone spiked my drink.
Spiked my drink.
What did you spike my drink? Why do you sound like a beetle? My name is Ringo Starr. And you came
I've
on
been spiked. I've been spiked.
What did you come and spike my drink?
Who spiked my drink? I'm a beetle. God damn it.
I don't.
All right, let's see how I can do this. I need a Facebook technician that wants to come and be my employee.
What you need is a personal assistant, right?
I need my personal assistant who will run my Facebook for me because I'm too damn important too.
Me too.
What is it? It should be a whole lot of something. What does Betsy Price say?
I don't remember.
A little bit funky and a whole lot of fun.
I thought she cussed.
Oh, was that on the Forward Funky Town thing?
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. It's gonna be
That's
a little
what-
bit funky and a whole lot of fun.
Yeah. Best. Where they bleep out the best.
I bleeped
effing?
out.
I know.
I made it say effing.
Yeah,
A little bit
and it's perfect.
funky and a whole lot of fun.
All right, I'm not gonna be able to figure this out.
I'm making a bunch of posts here.
Shit.
Shit.
All right, let me save this link.
All right.
Switch profiles, and then everything will be ready
Hey,
to
Adam.
rickety rock and roll.
How are things going out?
There's some
Vegas
crazy shit
land.
on our YouTube page too about something we did last week. Did you see that? I haven't really got a chance to look at it because I keep
Did we get in trouble?
giggling with Joe.
Yeah. Did we get in trouble?
It's something about someone like a Wikipedia, like I don't know if they're saying we're full of shit or
Maybe.
what. It's about some cult that we talked about.
We could be full of shit.
Well, we know we're full of shit. I think they think we're trying to be serious or something, maybe. They don't
Look.
get the joke.
Look.
Look here.
Looky here. So, what am I doing?
All right. You have your business hours changed? What are you talking about,
Hey,
man?
Zach.
All right,
Hey,
so
RoboTuner.
let's see. Publish. All right. I am ready to go.
Okay, let's
I've
see.
alerted my people.
People are
There'll be
still having sex.
Yeah, all my
People are
people. All
still
my
having
people are
sex.
definitely fucking. They're not gonna
Yeah.
tune in. But it's
I'm
not
still
because
waiting
they
for
don't like
someone
me. It's 'cause
to
they
notify
have
us.
Great sex.
That they're banging while watching us. Like
Right.
we're watching you guys
I've
Well,
not.
while tearing one up.
You got the voice here to make that happen. I can sing them some love
come on,
songs.
yeah, let's do
How
this.
y'all doing out there?
Get your Barry White on.
Be sure it's true before you say I love you, honey.
All right.
Because don't you know it's a sin to tell a lie?
So I'll point at you and you can go.
Oh, that's right. We're gonna
Yeah.
do the
We're doing the old live intro.
The old live intro, huh?
We haven't done it. So we'll
Okay,
roll
ladies
through
and
the radio
gentlemen.
intro.
Joe Savage. And then you just start.
If you had a
I've lost my drink.
is it
Hello.
over there in front of you?
No.
Which one is it?
Is it the water?
It is the one. That's probably outside somewhere.
Can I get some water?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll drink.
This water's pretty good. What? It's tea and mango.
Yeah.
Sparkling black tea and mango.
Yeah,
With
with
caffeine in
30
it?
milligrams of
Uh-huh.
caffeine in it.
Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
not bad. 30 milligrams.
That's like a half a cup of coffee,
Yeah,
right?
that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You want one?
Okay, now I'm ready. No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, though.
All right. We want to roll this? We want to try it?
Yeah.
We want to do it?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, if you had a vinyl,
Joe
we could hold it
Savage.
up. Like,
I have one in my car.
we could,
Here, let's do it at the same time.
we
you
could
know
do
how
it like
the
on Letterman.
duos sometimes
I should have done that.
when the duos announce it.
I should have brought it in.
Yeah.
You can hold up.
Ready?
You can hold up the sticker.
Yeah,
Be
there
like
you go.
3, 2,
I can make it-
1. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe
Yeah.
Savage.
Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
And in 3. Well, wait, we're playing the intro.
Oh yeah. Damn.
That won't work either.
You're playing the intro and then I go?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll point to you.
So are we gonna do our ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Joe Savage.
We could do it after the listener discretion thing.
Okay.
You want to do that? Okay.
Yeah,
here we
yeah.
go.
Unless there's funny stuff that you already have loaded in, then I want to do it at the end of the funny stuff.
Well, there's the funny stuff, then the viewer discretion.
and then we usually have the song.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
yeah,
what
let's
we've
do
been
that.
doing. We haven't been doing
Let's
the
do that.
long thing. Okay, you ready?
All right, yeah.
And we're gonna say it at the same time.
We're gonna try. We're gonna nail it, and then you're on.
And it's
Ladies, gentlemen.
ladies and gentlemen, Joe Savage.
We.
If I hold this up big enough, it'll look like the vinyl.
What
Close
is-
enough to the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Savage. Is that what we're doing?
Ladies and gentlemen,
I like that.
Joe Savage.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
You got a boner?
I can take care of that.
I gotta
Episode of
remember
the
the goods.
Last Kicker.
Brought to you by
Geist Note.
and
Victor Wrench.
and Plastic Object.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Savage.
Reverend, please come quick. 'Cause I got something to admit. Well, I met a man out in the sticks of good old Miss. He drove a Series 10 Cadillac and drove a cigar on his lip. Well, don't you know the devil wears a suit and tie? Saw him driving down the 61 in early July. White eyes, cotton field, and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by. He says, I know you, young man. Well, I know you by the state of your hands. You're a six-string picker, such as I am. So let me show you a few tunes I know that'll make all the pretty girls dance. Don't you know the devil wears a suit and tie? Saw him driving down the 61 in early July. White as the cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by. Foolish, foolish was I. Oh, damn my foolish eyes. That man's lessons had a price, oh sweet price. My very own soul in everlasting eternal light. Oh, don't you know the devil wears a suit and tie? Saw him driving down the 61 in early July. White eyes, a cotton field, and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by. Well, don't you know the devil wears a suit and tie? Saw him driving down the 61 in early July. White eyes, a cotton field, and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by.
All right.
Hey, it's a Coulter Wall tune called Devil Wears Suit and Tie.
Show number 431. It is Tuesday, July 27th, 2021. It's not every week you get a live intro to your show.
No. Are you proud of me? Look what I snagged in 1 week.
You just found him like outside.
Yeah.
He was
ran
like
into
just
him.
I was wondering.
sitting
Whoa.
on the corner down the street.
Yeah.
Just like,
It
hey,
was
what
a-
are you doing? Oh, nothing. I'm just hanging out. Okay, come on.
Yep. This is exactly what it was. It would either be that or it would be we would bump into each other at a barbecue joint or something somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stoned.
Stoned.
Well, how's it going, Joe?
Do I know you? Are you Stubbs or
Man, you play-
Snyder?
Huh? What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Are you?
Yep. Matter Dustin. Yeah, I'm too stoned.
That's what he asks every time he comes
I
out there
know.
too. He's like, "Hey, Stubbs coming?"
Are y'all
Oh
brothers?
yeah, I'm right here.
I was like, I'm not gonna do it this time. I'm not gonna do it.
It's awesome. I'm still Stubbs.
I know, right?
No, man. Yeah, this is a special treat. We
It
did a
really
real,
is.
real quick response. We needed someone to come fill in because we were going to have James Hetfield in, and
What's he
that
doing?
fell through.
He set himself on fire again
Oh,
on stage in Montreal.
Did a reenactment?
He did a reenactment, set himself on fire.
Oh.
Not really.
Oh,
Yeah.
How
So-
you been doing, Joe?
oh, I'm good. Working a lot.
Happy
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you too. Yeah.
Glad to see you in here again.
Man, it's great to be back. Honestly,
Joe,
It's
happy
cool to be
Tuesday.
back. Man, 2016 I
Yeah,
came,
something like
and
that.
then I came again, right? And
Yeah, you've been here. This is your third trip,
this is
right?
my third trip. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
We've only
Mhm.
had him on twice.
Or has it
Before
been
now,
3
yeah.
times?
Damn.
2 times?
How
Yeah, this is the third
disrespectful
time.
of us, man.
Well, we only do 52 shows a week, or a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, and out of the singer songwriter Texas sound, we have how many other people coming in though?
Oh, that's a
Well,
good question.
0.
Well, it depends on if we like them or not.
Yeah, I'm
I mean-
honored. I'm honored.
Oh,
And I just put
shoot,
out
we're
some.
like
I
it.
just I just put out some new material, so
Yeah.
that, it's perfect time.
The stars aligned.
Yeah.
Yep, and your new material is pretty damn good.
Did you get a chance to check it out?
I have listened to it.
Oh
Yeah,
man, thank you.
I have
Appreciate
listened to
that.
it. Yeah,
Awesome.
it's good.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
It's good. I listened to it when it's been out 3 weeks, 4
week
weeks.
or week or so. Yeah.
Is that it? Just
There's
a week?
been a single that was released in May, and that ran for a couple months. But then the album just came out July 9th. So
Okay.
yeah, about 3 weeks. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was I listened to it when it came out and was
Very
quite
cool. Thank you.
really dug it. And then you've been putting videos up all through COVID.
Yeah, that's been fun.
Did some work with our buddy Jeffrey Lord.
Yep, Jeffrey's been coming out and filming and stuff for me.
Yeah.
I got him to climb on the landmark rooftop in Fort Worth at one point.
Thought he was
and,
scared of heights.
Man, everybody got up there and did it.
You just had to tell him there was a pond or something he could fish.
Yeah,
while
you
he was
can
up
fish
there. There's
from
a
up there.
pond up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we were all hungry to do stuff. That was in July last year, so it's like, trying to get out. And do
I
stuff.
was not envious of y'all climbing up on a roof in the middle of July.
Yeah, and we pulled everything up by rope.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that detail.
Yeah, I pulled most of it because it was my idea, but everyone
Yeah.
was very gracious in helping.
It was,
And then we had free beer. Landmark gave us free beer, so
that's a great view though.
yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, the
Being up
video
there,
turned out pretty good,
yeah,
right? Yeah, we
looks
did.
really
we
cool.
did. I Won't Die, and we did Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Yeah.
Band was really great. Everybody was super cool. I'm glad we did that, and we did a few more too. A couple in the backyard, another one on a rooftop of a church next to my old apartment, and so.
And then you did some front porch gigs, front yard gigs?
Yeah,
During COVID?
yeah, I did do, and mainly I did courtyard gigs for apartment complexes and whatnot.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
Courtyard
I wrote
gig.
some letters to some apartment complexes, offered them my services for $100 an hour, and a couple of agencies were doing that stuff too, and so I went out for them for $100 too an hour, and I got by. March I didn't do anything. Middle of March, middle of April, I just stayed home. I was kind of like everybody else. I was resisting doing any online shows or making any statement at all.
Yeah.
And then,
Trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
yeah, exactly. And
It's weird because we're kind of in the same boat right now. Like everybody's kind of, what's
Think-
going to happen in the next
yeah,
2
there's-
months
There's
here?
a worry again. Yeah.
A lot of anxiety. I noticed that this weekend too when we went out. There was less
think-
people out.
There's less
for
people out, and I
sure.
think people are starting to hunker back down again.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A lot of what I do, I notice the same thing in where I work, that area. So it's I think people got kind of freaked out. It's weird that we're talking about this again.
Well, and that's how I know it's. I stopped watching the news and stuff about it, and once I got vaccinated in March, and then once everything kind of opened, went to full blown open, no masks. I was like, all right, well, I can kind of devote less time to this, to spectating this thing. But then now it's been back in my world through word of mouth. The cases are rising. There's variants, and like
That's weird.
So yeah, I mean, I'm like, uh-oh, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at something earlier this week, and it said, we have like Tarrant County is the highest county in Texas right now. We
Yeah.
just beat out Harris County
Over the variant.
Yeah.
for the variant of how many people have it,
Interesting.
and that a bunch of the hospitals here in Tarrant County have now reopened their COVID wards. And
Oh shit.
Oh, really?
I didn't know
yeah,
that. Well, and like, you know, I work on 7th Street every Sunday, and there's not a lot of people getting it down there. I think a lot of them got it early on, and
Yeah.
a lot of the bartenders and musicians are getting vaccinated. I wouldn't want to say the majority, but a good number are.
So I haven't been paying attention much either. I've kind of backed away from some of the news too. Are they? So has the FDA put out any kind of progress report? Kind of like, hey, we've advanced this, and this. Like, you know how when a game comes out, there's these new upgrades and stuff, kind of like with software and stuff like that. It seems like they would be saying, hey, okay, so. Or
have you not been plugging yourself into the network at night and downloading your updates,
No, yeah, exactly.
your patch fixes,
Yeah.
and everything?
Exactly.
Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, I wake up the next day and I don't know what's going on in the game. I'm like,
You're
what's that guy doing?
What's going on?
How do you get one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, Rambo's running around the corner shooting at me on Call of Duty, and I'm like, well, how'd this happen?
When the Rambo update happened?
Yeah.
You know,
But seriously, though, it seems like the FDA would give us something. Are they just going to keep it silent until they say this thing's full throttle good for you?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I did the Johnson & Johnson right when it came out, and then 3 days later, it was like,
Really?
you're gonna die from a
Yeah.
pulmonary inclusion
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck, you know.
Just don't
But-
sit down for long periods of time. Don't sit down for
Yeah.
long periods of time, and don't travel on airplanes for a long period of time, and you'll be okay.
I
Just,
mean,
just do a bunch of blow
That's
and
all you gotta worry
you'll
about. Yeah.
shake leg.
Well, see, that's
And be
what.
like,
All right, this is what it came down to. For
Blow
me. It
those
was like,
clots out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I want to go to Europe. I want to be able to go back to playing music, and I do. I've done.
yeah, over
I've done
Spain
enough
and stuff. that whole
cocaine
thing.
that I don't know what's in there.
No.
Then why do I give a fuck what's in this vaccine? It's like,
See,
how
I had
much
that
crazy
same-
shit have
see,
I
that's
put-
funny because I had that thought the other day. I was like,
Right.
dude, I'm sitting here being an asshole about stuff and like saying, man,
I don't know.
finally
what's in
it
that.
just hits me,
Yeah.
and now I'm going, dude, well, why are you worried about something that's being produced at an actual facility, like made to make it, and not like some crap someone decided to dip a joint in, and you're
I
just
know,
like, here,
man.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. man.
Or hey, these pills are cool. Oh, okay.
thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
How much acid did you do in the 90s?
Oh,
Yeah, I
exactly.
did.
Yeah.
Same here.
How
Same.
That's what I'm
much
saying.
crap is
Same.
in
Like
acid?
that, you got to think about that. All the people that are like hell bent against getting the vaccine. Think about what we just said. Like,
Yeah.
think about all the other shit you put in your body.
Strychnine.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Strychnine.
Let's just.
Yeah.
I had to come
uh,
to terms with it. I mean,
take
I was scared
strychnine
to
into
get,
our body.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
scared to get it, and like I just wanted to move on with my life.
Formaldehyde.
Yeah.
Well, what is in cocaine? There's like
There's all kinds
Gasoline?
of shit. Yeah, there's gas.
Let's just start with the main
yeah,
ingredient.
and
It's
there,
gasoline.
I think ammonia and all kinds of
Yeah.
shit are in
Yeah.
it. It's not friendly stuff.
Yeah.
It's not child friendly.
right.
Like 89 octane.
Yeah.
They're making it under a canopy somewhere in the middle of the jungle, right?
Yeah.
Just winging it.
yeah.
Just
No,
winging
I'm
it.
not getting that vaccine from that research facility that's state of the art $1 billion pharmaceutical company.
And that's pure.
That's awesome.
By the time it leaves Colombia and
Yeah.
gets to
Gets me,
here,
oh, man.
Yeah.
how many times has it been cut?
And with what? Yeah.
With what?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
by the time it gets up here, it's probably half chalk and
Baby
Yeah.
laxative is
Yeah.
what it
Baby
is.
laxative.
vitamin B powder or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's good perspective. I'm glad.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny, but I had the same exact thought like 2 weeks ago. It's like, what? You're a dumbass, man. But then again, maybe
is
they
pretty
should hire
funny.
a guy like us to get up there in front of the country and say, look,
Look.
and just break
Look.
it down like that, because no one else is doing that. They're just too
No.
busy arguing.
Right.
Let's see. That would be the thing. Be
Yeah.
100% honest about
Here's the
everything,
deal.
because no one can be.
Right.
But be 100% honest. Be like, listen,
But if you're some dude that doesn't give a fuck, you're like, I don't care.
all of us baby boom or Gen Xers in the 90s put so much shit in our body,
And you're gonna sit
so
here
much
and tell
crazy
me
stuff.
Yeah.
Half of us were raised on Ritalin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
the other on Prozac and, and
Prozac.
yeah,
Just calm down, take the vaccine. It's all good.
TV dinners and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, Swanson
Crazy
dinners.
Swanson's, yeah.
Crazy, man. It's
Have
crazy.
you had a hot pocket? you can take
Yeah,
the
if you-
vaccine.
Exactly.
'Cause we
Hey,
don't know what the hell's in a hot pocket.
Man, I'll still eat
It's just
hot
one of the
pockets.
mysteries of the
Dude,
world. I
I'm-
like pizza pockets sometimes.
I
you
love
the
know?
pizza pockets are
The
good.
get-
barbecue ones are
I'm-
all right
I'm-
sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude.
you're talking about pizza pockets for?
Little dippers or whatever, Tostitos or whatever, Totinos.
oh, yeah,
the
those are awesome.
Tostinos,
Yeah,
the
the
little
little
pop,
yeah.
the poppers.
But-
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll straight do a hot pocket still. I don't give a damn.
I'll do a hot pocket too, man. You never
Man,
know.
but I
I'll
won't
just
get that
grab it.
fucking vaccine.
do
Fuck
hot-
that, man. No.
Can I put the vaccine in
No.
the microwave before taking it?
Yeah. Can I, put,
Can I
get
warm
it
it
burnt?
up?
Can I get it burnt and then? Can I inject my hot pocket
Well, and
with
here's
the
a-
vaccine
here's a-
and then take it?
Here's another point. Is when I got my vaccine, they gave me a card.
Yeah.
Right? I could. I mean, I could make 100 of those cards.
Yeah.
with my home
yeah.
computer. So if you're out there, you don't want to get the vaccine, but you want to travel
Still go to
somewhere.
cool places.
By the way, no one's asking you to present any card yet. But if they are,
people
just
are-
make your own fucking card. And move on with your life.
You know, it's
People are
already
doing that
happening.
like crazy.
Yeah.
I got into an argument with a guy, another professional. I was at this photographer's dinner, and I got into an argument with a guy about that
Yeah.
because he was just like, he was bitching about all the venues are going to start requiring cards, and I was like,
It's like, oh.
listen, if you want to be honest, what's gonna, I mean, if people really want to get around it, they will. You can find these cards everywhere. You can print them out.
Yeah.
It's card stock. You can go buy it at
It's
Office
card stuff.
Depot,
You could easily make yourself
print it out, make your own, no big deal.
Move on with
Yeah.
your life.
Move on with your life.
There's nothing
he's
official
like,
about my card.
Who
I
the
mean,
fuck would do that? Why the fuck would they do that? I was like, people that just don't want to do it. Well, people that don't want to get the vaccine need to fucking die. And then it turned this whole like
Oh.
30-minute argument into where
See,
I wanted to punch him in the face.
Did you go? No. People who haven't seen Tool live
they would
should just
they'll
go
die.
die.
No, I told you what I told him.
Yeah, I've heard this, but I just had to. Throw
It got pretty heated because he kept changing the scenario, and I was like, dude, I'm on your side.
right.
I'm on your side about everything you're bitching about, but you just keep. He started saying that we were eating at a Hooters, and he's like, Hooters is going to require you to show a vaccine card when you come in. I was like, no, they're not. Yeah, they
Right.
are. No, they're not. They're going to make it. I said they can't do that. It's illegal for them to do that.
Right.
I was like, have you not seen the SB 987 that came down in the state of Texas? No one can require you to have a vaccine passport or show a vaccine card. A business can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. I
It's
mean,
it's not going to happen. Plus, as soon as businesses start doing that, you know what that's going to do to their business?
yeah.
I mean,
mean-
come on. As red as Texas steel is,
Yeah.
there's going
That's
to
a
be
good
a lot
point.
of
I
people
didn't think
that are
of
like,
that. Like people are just like, well, fuck it, I'm not going to your restaurant.
I'm not going to eat
Right.
there. Fuck
Yeah.
you. Die in the COVID mess. That's what's going to happen. So anyway, we were just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So finally, it's like, dude, you're 100% right. You're the smartest man in the world because he told me all his research he got off the internet. I was like, you're fucking brilliant. You're genius, whatever, because you're not listening to me. He kept interrupting, cutting me off, and being one of these ones that was just kept fighting and fighting and fighting. Well, when it came time to leave, we were all, a couple of us were getting up to leave, and he was getting up to leave, and I said, you might want to stay back a few minutes, because if we go out in the parking lot together at the same time, I'm going to beat your ass.
It's like a half polite way and a half way saying I mean business too at the same time. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Well,
I was like,
it's like a nice way to put it.
just stay back. Let me and
I'm just
Dominic leave first.
Giving you some
Yeah.
friendly advice.
You
Don't
just stay
walk
there.
out in the parking
Yeah.
lot.
yeah.
Just stay here. Let us leave.
I don't like the insulting. It's like I've never
No.
been insulted more than I have in the last
Yeah,
year and a
it's
half.
Like, what the hell?
It's like people who I've known for years and have had talks about stuff before, and then
Yeah.
now it's just like, yeah, I want to beat your fucking head. You
Yeah.
leave my life, leave my life.
It's not
forever now.
Yeah.
It's not worth arguing
You have
about.
insulted me deeply.
I loved you once.
I loved you.
And what's funny is we were on the same side about things, arguing about shit. And I'm like,
Right.
dude,
It's just two different views. Yeah.
I was
Like
it was a whole joke about people just printing this shit off.
I'm both.
Because they would do it. The people will do that.
did this start at the beginning of the dinner when you guys started getting after it?
Pretty early. He was late, so it's when he got there.
And it just went on the whole time you
Well,
were there,
I
all the way
think-
to the point when you left? That's a lot of arguing.
No. He stopped.
Oh, he did? Shut
he
up?
stopped. He shut up. Once I
Yeah.
told him he was right, because I told him, I was like, I didn't come here to fucking argue with you about goddamn COVID shit, especially when we're on the same side about shit. You just want to argue.
Right.
I was like, that's
Yeah.
all it is. You just want to argue with someone, and I'm not going to fucking argue with it. I came here to talk about business, about the Blitz shit, and get it on. That's why
Yeah.
I'm here, about what we got going on.
You want to goof off.
photo shooting stuff and what's coming up, and you want to bitch about this. That's not why I'm here. We can bitch about this another time.
Yeah, it's a good point. You're wasting time. You're having a business meeting and wasting
and
time.
what pissed? I know 4 people that were sitting at the table. Well, there were only 5 of us, so the other 4 off was when he said, "People that don't get the COVID shot need to fucking die." Well, all 4 of us at the table have people in our lives that can't get it because of medical reasons.
Oh,
like my buddy sitting across the table, he's got his wife's going through cancer stuff.
Yeah,
you know, it's like people can't do that, and you just ostracize the 4 people you're supposed to be working with.
Yeah,
like right off the bat, and it pissed them. Like everybody went red when he said that. It was just like,
it's wild how that's what I've noticed too. People are willing to draw a line in the sand and just like fuck everybody.
Yeah,
based on some meme or or some hyper extreme fanatic information they've decided to take on both sides.
I started laughing when he said, "I've done all my research on the internet."
On the internet.
On the internet, because the internet's always right. I've done all my research on the internet.
Are we in a movie?
Yeah,
yeah.
Sounds like a movie.
I don't know. It's not worth it anymore. Like, I think now I'd rather talk religion at a bar than fucking the
COVID politics.
Any of it, politics, the COVID, any of that stuff. I'd rather just talk about church at this point.
Yeah.
My church has a good softball team.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should just start doing every Tuesday.
Just going to church.
We just go through a passage in the Bible and we talk about it.
I'm all right with
instead
that.
of talking COVID and politics. So we just kind of.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Man, talk about getting in trouble.
This week we're going to break down Psalms 98.
Right.
They'd be like, "You guys are the most bipolar podcast ever."
Yeah, what is wrong? What happened?
What?
We grew.
Yeah.
We grew up.
Hey, let's talk about Psalms 98. Hand me your dugout.
Dude, there's a really cool song that you have to check out. It's about smoking weed and loving Jesus.
Don't worry. There's one in Matthew 3:17, man. You just look there. There's one. You got one.
What is this song
The joint
called?
in the Bible. That'd probably be bad. We get complaints.
It would be.
Yeah. We'd be as good as that as we would be announcing the Olympics.
That's a good segue there, sir.
There's
To nothing.
a great song called "Holy Smokes" by Anna Bates, and
that's what it's about.
Holy smokes
by Anna Bates. It's
Okay.
super cool.
Well, the first time I ever smoked weed, I think it was a dude at my church. Actually, he didn't go to my church, but he got it from his dad's, and he was a Sunday school teacher or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I think the first 3 times I ever did any smoking of the weeds, it was with people that had real religious families and stuff. So
Yeah.
I could see where there'd be a lot of songs about that. I'm gonna listen to it though.
It's cool. It's her just being like she's like super cute and like has a real pretty voice. And it's like, I saw, when I was 16, I saw Jesus and he offered me a bowl. And now I've been token, and the chorus is like, I go up to heaven, and when I token see grandma and I see all the apostles, I saw David and Goliath and they were all stoned. And like, it's really cool.
Have you seen the stories that have come out, I guess, in the past few years about Bible scholars, or they start talking about how there was a lot of hallucinogenic plants back then?
Mm-hmm.
Like they found, unearthed, or encased in ice or whatever. They found all these plants that were around in biblical times, and they think that a lot of the writers
were tripping,
taking some stuff,
were tripping out, or
Moses
was tripping out.
Which one? Who wrote the story about the burning bush and all that? Moses, right?
Yeah.
I think I heard that they thought he was on something. Some kind of DMT.
That's when he brought the commandments down, apparently, right?
Some DMT trips. Well, it's funny because I kind of got into the same conversation the other day, but I'm starting more and more to believe this. So let's face it, we're getting close to being done as a civilization. So the next one, if they find relics and stuff that we've left,
this podcast,
all the toys and everything, and just stuff that's out there, they're gonna be like, so there was one religion that had an empire and rebels, and there was a Death Star, right? And then they'll be like,
one faction.
Yeah, that'll be one religion.
This man in black with a black helmet.
Exact. And then they'll be like, well, and another one had a man made of an iron suit that was one, and Thor and all. And it's basically gonna be comics and science fiction.
They're gonna be confused that the Marvel universe and the
They're gonna
Star
think it's a
Wars
religion.
universe are both religions.
And they're just going to be like, well, it's just going to be like Catholicism and
Wow.
Islam. So
Yeah.
that's what it's going to be like. They're gonna be like these people. They were into a really weird religion that's like worships space a lot, and
they fought aliens that came
fought
through a
with-
wormhole.
They fought with swords that glowed, and then they'll be like and there was this one religion that like watched people naked all the time, all the time, like on his phone,
Which was the most popular
on his
religion.
on his tablet,
There were
on
a
his
lot of
TV.
people. And it turns out that a lot of people that were following other religions followed this religion too.
yeah. There's gonna be some confused aliens that land on
Well,
Earth after we're gone, like just kind of standing around scratching their alien head.
What
What are
happened
these
to this
guys
joint?
doing? Man, this is a weird people, weird beings here.
So you brought up the Olympics. Have you watched any?
Absolutely zero.
I've watched none.
You saw
also.
me watch the most, and it was at the restaurant we went to. Like I think, or not the restaurant.
Oh wait, there's some Olympics
It was
on
at
right now.
Lola's.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of Lola's.
We watched the men's
inside
street
Lola's.
skate.
Mm-hmm.
Inside Lola's. Yeah, I've been
That was it.
watching it. I've actually been watching it quite a bit. I don't know how I feel about it. We're watching Simone just give up today.
What do you mean?
She was poised to help the female gymnastics team.
That lady
When
we
the
just
team
watched?
event,
The team event.
She quit.
She was going to push them to gold, and she quit, saying that she had mental issues, stress, anxiety, and
you think she's gonna have problems getting a job
no.
after she's done with her Olympic career? I bet she doesn't.
Well, if you look at social media, if you look going on, everybody's praising her for just it's
Yeah.
fine,
Being
it's good.
vocal.
You people have these mental issues, and it's good of you to step down. But then you got a lot of people that are like, why not just go ahead and go through with it, even if you fuck up or screw up? And then there's a whole huge side, let's say the sports fan side of it, that is like, you went all the way to the
Yeah.
Olympics, and you were there to compete in this event to help us, get pushed over, beat the Russians,
Mm-hmm.
and get the gold. But you
No
just
Russian.
forfeited. You basically forfeited. You walked out, and
Yeah, it's
you
wild.
took a spot from someone else, from another girl that could really appreciate it, and it could have made her life better down the road.
Yeah.
There, a girl stayed home because
I
they
think-
could have been there
'Cause
in
now
their
you're
spot.
quitting.
So
yeah.
I can
Because you quit, and
I kind of understand a little bit, except there's one caveat, and it's that she's trained her whole life. Because when I was a little kid, the first time I took swimming lessons, my mom made me take swimming lessons, and I almost drowned like a few years before this, and so I was kind of on the water anyway. So I don't know if I was nervous or what, but at the last day, you had to basically swim the length of the pool. It was like whatever a standard, like not, I'm sure it wasn't Olympic size, but a
Yeah.
long, with lanes and stuff, big long pool. Anyway, so and then after that, you were graduated and passed the class. That was kind of the thing. And then you could just go play and then do whatever. It was like a party. Like my mom was there and stuff. So I had to do it. And I don't know what happened, but like, I don't know if it was because I was in the deep end or whatever. Or I don't know what set me off, but I started panicking like in the middle of it and
Yeah.
just not. I was like, oh, great. This sucks. And then I started like freaking out about my breath and everything. And I was like, oh, this really sucks. I don't know if I'm going to, I don't know. And then finally I was like, fuck it. And just got out of the pool.
And you just
I
gave
was,
up
I was like
on life.
10 feet away
Yeah.
from the edge of the pool where I'd have been done.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Just like, I guess maybe that happened to her. But the thing
Yeah.
is, I wasn't training in
So-
swimming my whole life like she
Yeah.
has. So that's
There's
the only
several things that say, like Jennifer Smith in the chat room brought up that she threw a tantrum because she didn't get the score she felt she deserved on
Oh,
her first
so
event.
here we go.
Very embarrassed
we're
yourself
way
a little
off
bit.
now.
I also heard that
This is just pride.
she got upset because since she's the number one ranked in the world, she had heard through the grapevine that they were going to penalize her because she was so good. That's been
Is that a thing in the Olympics?
to try to make it an even playing field all the way across, and she got pissed off at hearing that, and that fucked with her head. There's been a lot of things that have come out.
Do you know if
and
that's
this
a
is
thing?
all real too. This isn't just like someone on Twitter typing a bunch of shit. This is coming from news organizations, sports organizations, what they've said, the ticket,
That's wild.
shit they've said, or that
She's
has
a-
come down or been heard.
Yeah. That's
Well, this
bummer.
morning they were just all confused. Everybody's like, "We have no idea. We think it might be a mental
It
meltdown."
slowly
But then
started gradually
yeah.
coming out more
But
and
they-
more what happened.
no one thought it was because of her pride and just bitchiness.
That has several sports outlets have said that.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's two different
that's coming
things,
up,
man.
yeah.
One I feel sorry for, the other not so much.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. Just sit back, relax, watch, see what happens.
Yeah.
Don't be quick and be like, "Oh my God, you're our hero." You know, it's cool.
So did Michael Phelps? Has he won anything yet?
Well, he's not swimming.
Why?
Yeah.
He's our best swimmer.
He's retired.
Yeah, I think he's retired.
He did.
He retired at Rio, right? He did 2 Olympics.
He was like our best swimmer. Why would he retire so early?
I think you only get like a
he's
couple,
old.
couple decades.
Your
That's
lungs
like
are like,
saying-
we're done here.
Tony Hawk's skating the street. He's a little old.
Hey, didn't
I've
some
seen him
11-year-old win a gold in the skate?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
saw
from-
those headlines for doing a 1080 or something. No, or the something after that.
They did some
There's
crazy
some side
Japan.
of Fort Worth. We got some girl that's a skateboarder from Fort Worth.
She
It's over there.
she didn't qualify.
Oh man,
Yeah, she didn't qualify.
fucking. It's the Chinese. The what is it? The
Japanese-
CCP.
How about the
The
weed?
Japanese won both male and female.
About the weed thing. I mean, is weed really going to still be? I think weed should be treated like alcohol in the Olympics now. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
To that lady, what was her name? The runner that got tested positive for marijuana. I don't know. Her
Yeah.
name. They called it a performance enhancing drug.
The only problem is with that, when it came out, we kind of talked about it on the show. The only problem is it needs to be an even playing field across the entire world. And the weed's not legal in the entire world.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the only problem.
So that would be the problem with the Olympic
And
committee
some people
Yeah.
get enhanced.
making it okay.
Some people
Yeah.
get enhanced when they're high too. Like I'm a bad motherfucker when I play Call of Duty.
yeah.
Like
Well, they say the
I'll-
rate,
like that's my highest score streaks and stuff. have
their
been on 'em.
argument for it being enhancing
Yeah.
was for it being able to calm you down and let you focus and tune out the pressure that's going on around you. And if you are smoking and that's happening, but yet a runner from, say, I don't know, Kenya that can't,
that doesn't have access.
that doesn't have access to it or doesn't have weed,
Yeah.
you
That
know,
makes sense.
has
That's
to deal
That's
with
a good argument.
the pressure and everything around it. Well, that's an
Yeah,
uneven
that's-
playing field.
That's really
You're,
good.
you're just trying to keep everybody on the same playing
Yeah.
field as
Well,
much as possible.
And she's pretty stupid for doing that. I mean, she was in Oregon because wasn't she in Oregon? It was at
Oh,
the, it was at the qualifying
you're
round.
talking about the track and field.
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
I felt bad for her though, man.
I feel bad for her, but she also
It's-
said that she was a dumbass for doing
yeah,
that.
and I like the way she handled it.
and it
Honestly,
wasn't
it
her
spoke more
first
volumes.
time.
Right.
Yeah,
it
she didn't
wasn't
mess
her
around.
first time.
Yeah.
Let's just get past that.
Yeah,
Did she say it was her first time?
She did it first, and then she came out and backtracked on
she's
that.
like
Yeah.
was being
Yeah.
dumb.
Well, I mean, a lot of athletes use marijuana. I mean, it's better than alcohol overall. If you
It's
want,
better than those
I
opiates.
mean, if you want your performance to not lag and get, alcohol makes you gain weight, makes you
Yeah.
depressed.
Yeah, look at me.
me.
Gotta stop this alcohol stuff.
Well, if you're not trying to be an Olympic athlete. I don't think.
Hey,
you
it's
look
not
great.
too late.
You look great.
Frisbee
It's not
golf?
too late.
For a
Yeah.
civilian, you look amazing.
When disc golf gets in there, I'll be ready to
Yeah,
go.
disc golf.
Yes.
Well, then you're really gonna have to test
Frisbee
for
golf.
stoners
Yeah.
when it comes to disc
I
golf.
just said
It's like, hold
frisbee
on a
golf.
second.
Yeah, hold on.
Got to get my focus on.
So, one of the things that's always a big player, and this is our third Olympics,
How's
I
the
think,
bobsledding team
since
doing?
we've done this show, or fourth Olympics because we get the winter ones too. But we always talk about, well, it's summer. There's no bobsled. The one thing we talk about is sex at the Olympics because
Yeah.
we've always
Those
heard
beds. Did you see those beds?
Yeah, they're
we've
yeah.
always heard that it's orgy central
Orgy.
in the athletic village.
it's what the rumor
They
is.
go nuts.
Like orgies, or are they just all hooking up?
They're all hooking
Hooking
up,
up
going
and-
nuts, any and everywhere,
Wow.
and just banging and going
I
nuts.
bet there's been some multiple.
In Rio
groups of
they said it was full on orgy,
Wow.
but they have shipped over.
I had no idea.
I was
They should
wondering
just
how
make
it
it
would
an
work
event.
with it being under COVID. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's having to be separated, but they're still letting them go at it. And they shipped over 100,000 condoms. And
They should just make it an event. Make it an Olympic event.
But they were talking
That's
about
like-
those beds, those cardboard beds,
Yeah.
and everybody's bitching about
The
everybody's sleeping in cardboard beds. Well, the reason they're cardboard's because they're sustainable. They can get rid of them
Yeah.
afterwards.
like flush them down the toilet.
And there's been a bunch of athletes that have been testing them out
Yeah.
and
I
doing
bet.
TikToks and videos
I've
of
seen a couple of those. Yeah. on,
them, two
late night.
people on it doing different things,
Yeah.
doing different yoga positions or whatever, and being like, and now we're going to have sex. And then they'll cut the video off. But they say they will withstand two people because everybody's like, they put these cardboard beds in here to limit the weight, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
they'll
I
hold
don't
two
either,
people.
man. You got Lulu coming in.
I mean, people are gonna
coming
fuck.
in
You're
hot,
not-
and then
You're not gonna stop them. I'm
Some
surprised
big old
that they
dude.
would.
They ain't going to stop them. There's no
What if-
way.
sumo wrestler. What if they want to bang on it? You think it's gonna hold him up?
Sumo. They didn't do the cardboard boxes for the sumo guys.
I don't
It's
think
an
so.
Olympic
That
event,
would
isn't
be-
it?
I don't think a sumo guy could sleep on a cardboard.
They had to
bed.
do
I don't-
something else. Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta have something else. Those guys are gigantic.
No, man. I bet you they did make some for him. They just probably used particle board. You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Particle board.
Probably so.
Party board.
Yeah.
But it's weird
Party-
not seeing crowds there. It's strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild to be in and out of this COVID reality. I mean, I don't know. It's like it's over, but it's not over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially this whole the new variant thing that I didn't think that either side of the argument about all this crap. I didn't think. I bet you neither side thought that was coming. That we were
Yeah.
gonna have this happen. That the CDC comes out today and recommends that even like vaccinated people made it official today and said vaccinated people need to start wearing masks.
Oh, really? I
So,
missed that.
yeah.
Is that
Inside,
that's
if
It
you're
was
inside,
announced this
you
afternoon.
should start wearing masks again.
CDC said that.
Yeah, if you're unvaccinated, you've got superpowers. Don't worry about it.
But if you're vaccinated, even
Wear a mask inside.
Even if you're vaccinated.
wow.
So that's probably
Well,
a surprise to everyone. And I think this thing, my theory is now almost straight up, this thing is something that is going to keep mutating and get like what is that theory that they were studying? Dr. Fauci was the how it keeps aggressing and like mutating and all
God
that
damn,
stuff.
the gain of
Function.
function.
I think that they created that.
I always forget that.
The
Gain of function.
wherever it came from, created it to keep changing itself till it takes out.
It's
like,
not where it came
everyone.
from anymore.
No, it's not.
We know where it came from. We just
Oh,
don't
you
know
mean
how it got out.
well, I just want our stuff to be put on YouTube and I don't want to be taken down, so I'm not going to mention it.
Oh, you're not going to.
But everybody that knows us,
well,
hurrah,
that was one of the things I was going to talk about. And
knows.
we don't have to get into it too depth because it is kind of crazy, but it happened like all the news started going down as we did our show last week when Rand Paul and Fauci got into it.
Yeah.
And if you can, the news chopped it up to where it looked like Fauci was just attacking Rand Paul and for no apparent reason. But if you go watch the full thing, if you go find the video or the audio and watch the full interaction, it's like 5 minutes
This is like the
long.
third time they've gone after each
Yeah.
other too. So
It's great. It's freaking fantastic because they're going back and forth. And Rand Paul's being, as much as I don't like the dude, he's bringing up some factual stuff, and they have actually pulled out papers. They've
and
done their research.
He's a medical doctor.
He is a
too,
medical
so
doctor. Yeah,
He's not like the president's.
he's not
wife,
just
the
talking.
First lady,
He's not
who's
like a guy up there just talking about the internet being a series of tubes.
Yeah.
exact. That's the most agitating thing. right
Agitating
there.
thing.
This whole COVID thing is that. But,
So he's up
sorry.
there. He actually knows what's going on, and he's bringing up the paperwork from the Dr. Shi that's over there, and they're talking about this gain of function, and they're not really talking about COVID, the way it was released, the way it went out.
Yeah.
They're not worried about that. He's talking about the research behind it, this gain of function research. What gain of function is? It's the research of a disease that's found in an animal that is only normally transmissible between animals,
Right.
but creating a way for it to be transmissible to a human.
Mhm.
So that way it can be used in a biological weapon.
Right.
And then how that disease can then be transferred human to human,
Right.
how fast it can be transferred, and
How
how
potent.
quick how potent it is, and how quick it can change.
Right.
That's what gain of function is all the way around. So
So I kind of got it right.
yeah, it's kind of I
It
want to
mutates, man.
try to figure out how to get our gain of function working on this podcast so we can infect people with it and they'll listen more.
Well,
and
it
more,
starts
more. Start spreading it
with
around.
donations.
Yes, but that's
Just send us your cash.
the interaction they have against each other is so amazing because Fauci, when Rand Paul asked him, about in this last interaction they had with each other, just straight up goes, when you came before Congress last time, we want to make sure you know that anything you say under oath can be considered a lie and you can be charged for it. But what you said last time was that money wasn't going to this facility from you or from the NIH funding this gain of function research. Right. And now we have all this paperwork and all this paper trail and all these receipts showing that.
That's when Fauci just got.
He turns ghost white and he just starts attacking and screaming like
you don't know what you're talking. Didn't he say you don't know what you're
you don't
talking
know
about?
What you're talking about. You don't know what's going on, and you're lying.
It was theater for sure.
It's great theater. It's awesome. I love it when they get in fights in Congress. It's so great.
I wonder if we're close to getting to blows in one of these sessions.
Like in Parliament in England,
yeah.
when they just start standing up and fighting.
I
and
throw a shoe at you.
Yeah, and then they start fist fighting.
Yeah,
it's great, but it's a pretty good interaction. I think the bad thing, if you're a Fauci fan, I think it's coming to a head. Yeah, that shit he's been involved in.
He's got
all
a big
these
conflict
years
of interest.
He's got a little bit of conflict of interest. I think it's going to come out. Same thing with old Billy Gates.
Yeah,
I think some shit's going to come down with him.
I hope so.
And it could be. It's one of those things like you don't know. These people could have been giving money into this research, not knowing what it was, because gain of function was something you could test in the U.S. up to 2017.
Yeah,
and they were doing it up at was it Fort Bragg, whatever.
Right. I mean, and we're our
military
is going to have just as good or better research.
Yeah.
Once they outlawed just like the United States military to have it over there.
Well, once they outlawed it in the U.S., all the research from that lab
went to China.
Went to the Wuhan lab.
Yeah.
And so they continued over there, and the NIH was sending funds over there.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things like, did they know this research needed to be done? It could be something to be done. Now, you never know who's being Dr.
Are we
Evil.
living in the biological warfare now?
I think that's what I think we are.
Were these weapons
used?
Definitely are. Yeah, have these weapons been used?
I think it just was.
Now, right, that's what I'm saying. In the media,
I have a feeling
all countries are trying to make sure that the population doesn't realize that this is war. I mean,
well, see,
this is economic downturn.
I don't know if I've said this on the show, and I don't even know if I should. But here's another branch to my crazy ass theory: is that the lockdowns, when they locked everybody down, it wasn't because of the actual virus. It was because I think that Trump was in office. They knew things were coming to light and that we had an actual biological attack. And they locked everybody down because they didn't know if Trump was going to start a war. And if he did, they knew that it would immediately be a nuclear holocaust.
I think that the lockdown.
I think that's what the lockdowns
they were in earnest. I mean, you're talking. This was the first time that governors were working directly. All 50 governors working directly with the president, for example, and he treating those governors as if they were an extension of his executive branch. Like, it's also each little county and each county and each city, they all had to agree to these lockdowns. These lockdowns were staggered. When Texas was locked down, we were in Wyoming playing shows. And when Wyoming was locked down, we were in North Dakota playing shows. And when North Dakota locked down, we were back in Texas.
North Dakota never did lock down, did they?
I'm not sure, but Sturgis,
one of the
South Dakota did, or there was
South
a big
Dakota
spread,
did. I don't think North Dakota did. North Dakota was had the governor that was like, "We're not closing anything down. We're just."
There's nobody up there.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I mean, there was like 2 cases in the city of Minot where we played, but
that was
each government
handled it differently.
Well, in the lockdowns, yes. So we're still lucky to see that we live in a country where one man can't control everybody all at once. That you
Mm-hmm.
do. There has to be a lot of agreements that come. And even though he had 50 governors on his phone call, underneath those governors are all these county seats and all these county representatives, and the
Yeah.
city officials are the ones who make the calls. I mean, it was the Dallas County official who was doing weekly and daily briefings and was, on the forefront.
Clay
of a lot of,
Jenkins.
Judge
he
Jenkins.
did a good job. I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he did a damn good job.
thought
he
he
was
was
very
awesome.
reasonable. He approached everything in a
Better than
calm
Tarrant County.
manner. Huh? Yeah.
Whiteley over here in Tarrant County is just a dumbass. He's just an
Yeah,
old dude that's
yeah.
whatever, talking circle, whatever you are.
That was the worst thing that about what Abbott did, man. It was he decided to make it a political
Did
thing.
he ever
and if
ruin
would-
his career over this?
I think
last
he
year?
did, man.
He's done.
Him
I think
and
he did.
Cruz.
Yeah, they just.
I mean, everybody was already fed up with him to begin
Who's
with. but
who's running for governor? What's that guy's name? He's the local.
Matthew McConaughey.
Chad Prather. He's a local.
He's running for governor.
He's running for governor.
He's already getting going. I haven't even looked at the
I'm
governor
sorry,
race.
Chad. I love you, but I don't think you're gonna win.
I haven't even
By
looked to see who's
association.
running.
But I mean,
Don't we have like 2 years left or a year left?
well,
or
I seen
something?
him in his shirt the other day, Chad. But Matthew McConaughey, I'm really interested in that. Although it's another celebrity, man.
Look what Reagan did.
well,
I'm
you
a
could-
fan of Reagan
I
economics.
think, and I think. Well, I think Matthew McConaughey is smarter than both Reagan and Trump, the celebrity president. So let's, and I like all his movies.
I mean, you can
Seems
go
like
out
a
on a
cool
limb.
dude.
You can go out on a limb and say, besides the Bushes, we've had in our lifetime, we've had a couple of decades of celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Celebrity presidents. Obama was
he
a
a
celebrity.
He was
Well,
a
not
senator,
really,
though.
but
Yeah.
he was a rock star in Chicago.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton. I mean, come on.
Yeah, also a senator though, wasn't he? Or governor.
And governor
Arkansas
of
governor?
Arkansas.
Yeah, those are politicians. Like Reagan and Trump are straight actors from Hollywood. you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
but they all acted like celebrities.
And Arnold, he was
Arnold-
a governor
Arnold.
for.
But
he
he's
was.
a-
He
man,
didn't
I
go
love
to
him
pres-
too. I love him.
he can't run for president though.
I don't.
No,
He can run for
he's
governor, but he
not-
can't
he's
run
not
for
a
president.
national- He can't run for president.
Yeah.
I reread, or I didn't reread. I audio booked Arnold Schwarzenegger's autobiography.
Is it
It's
good?
amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good, and it gets into the end where he's.
It's
really,
not the one where is it Pump It Up or whatever?
I can't remember the title of it, but he gets to the end where he's super honest about his affair with the cleaning lady and the
Oh
and the
shit, this is a
child
new
that-
one.
Yeah, and the child
Oh,
that, he hid,
damn.
that he hid, and like, oh man, but his whole life's amazing. I mean, he has a really good perspective, I think. And
Did you ever see that cleaning lady?
I haven't, but was she?
I mean,
Was
I
it,
don't
was,
wanna-
it, was it like the porns?
I don't want to be a typical dude a-hole about this, but
It's Arnold.
you're Arnold.
Yeah, you can.
You can get just about anything in the world.
Convenience, though,
Man,
I
have you
guess
watched
so.
that movie on Netflix that he did a while back? It's terrible.
No, I have not seen that.
Terrible, man.
I love his.
Like I wanted it to be good so bad. I was like, oh, I know it's gonna suck. I know it's gonna suck, and then it sucked.
Yeah, it's next year in November is the next time we elect Texas governor.
Okay.
So
Well,
we'll see.
I mean, Matthew's got my vote between Matthew and Chad Prather, so
You'd vote for Matthew over him?
fuck yeah.
I mean, no, your buddy.
Over my buddy, yeah. I mean, I do like my buddy, but but
I don't know.
Chad Prather's found his niche over the last few years, and he's not as accessible as he used to be.
So are they
There's
gonna
no way
vet? Are they
Matthew
gonna
does.
vet him? Are they gonna ask you questions
About
when they
Chad.
vet him?
Oh no, we're not that close. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I've seen him drunk. I've been drunk and seen him.
That's what I was trying to get
maybe
to.
not drunk. I don't know.
Like,
but
how
I,
close
I
are
used to
you?
run into him at Filthy McNasty's all the time. That was 2014.
Yeah.
and he's gotten a lot more famous since then. So we're not buddies.
Oh shit! I meant to grab
He doesn't
it.
even know who I am.
Well, Joe, we happen to have a surprise guest. That'd be a wild show. We're like, hey, what's up, Mr.
What?
Prather? Or Prather? What?
Well,
Man, I'm sorry. I don't even
what?
know who the fuck you are.
No, I mean I know him enough to say what I've said, and I've watched this show.
Hopefully he listens to us and knows
he's
we're
moved,
joking.
Right? He's moved. Ooh, I still love him. Like I said, I love.
I love you too, Chad Prather.
I tried to hire
Didn't he
him
play
once
like?
for an MC.
Wasn't that like a kicker for the Broncos or something?
I'm not sure who he is.
Chad Prather.
Prather.
Prather. Doesn't that sound like a kicker's name? Like I used to kick. I
Anyway,
used to
what?
kick for the Cleveland Browns in 1996.
I think actually my shop teacher in 7th grade, his name was Mr. Prather.
Uh-oh. This
Could be his
might-
dad.
It could
Yeah,
be his
could be his
dad or his
dad. He's a
grandfather. or
local-
something.
he's a DFW
could have
guy.
been.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask him. Like
Yeah.
Let's
if
just
he
invite-
had a relative
could
that
have-
was a shop teacher in a Hearst Junior High.
Well, let's do a reveal show and invite Joe's buddy, and then we'll
Yeah.
invite your shop teacher and be
Oh
like,
my
"Hey guys."
There's no
now
way
what's up?
my shop teacher's still alive.
They just kind of
There's
look at
no
each
way.
other, and me and you are just like,
Yeah.
You are not the father.
Damn it.
"Got the wrong guys here."
Or they're like, yeah, that's my father. We had a falling out 20 years ago,
Right.
and I haven't
Yeah.
talked to him
Yeah.
since. You son of a bitches for putting us in the same
and then
room.
shoots us both.
Yeah. They get in some fist fight.
Oh,
Murder suicide.
So-
oh my lord.
I got a, before we tear into Joe for a little while, I got a, yeah, it sounded sexual, didn't it? I got a JJTM
Email
documentary breakdown.
documentary.
I wanna get into.
breakdown.
Have you seen the new Woodstock
Oh,
documentary?
I have.
I don't think so.
This is going to be all
Then
you
you
because I
have it.
haven't seen it. You might as well
Good.
wait till we do it, till I watch it, which will be what 2000.
Yeah, everybody's already talking about it.
2035. I'll get around to it.
Everybody's already talking about it. Hey, how does this make you feel when you hear this? Does this get you all excited?
Yeah, yeah. MTV News.
Come on.
Yeah,
It gave me a boner
Kurt
listening
Loder?
to it when it would come on.
Kurt
On the
Loder and,
on the documentary, it starts off, with that. And
yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
well, first, it actually starts off with lit.
Dude, I still get one when I hear. "Map, map, 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 map."
All the old
Yeah.
old MTV
Yeah.
intro. Man, it brought back some nostalgia gold hearing that.
Yeah.
And Tabitha Soren,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, Julie Brown, all of them.
Julie Brown. So HBO released a documentary on Friday, and it wasn't streamable until late Friday night because they waited to play it live. They did it at 9 p.m. And once it aired, then it was streamable. You could go in and watch it on HBO Max or whatever. But it's the Woodstock 99 Peace, Love, and Rage. And it was done by, look at these notes I have. It's like notes of a madman here. I've watched it. I started watching
Your
it.
boss is going to see that and be like, "This is what you did all day."
No. I watched it all here. I did this. I started watching it Saturday. I went over to our friend Susie's house. Me and Jeff did, and we helped her out doing some stuff around her house. She didn't get done. Well, I came home, got cleaned up before going out to Lola's, and I started watching it. And I got about halfway through, and I started watching it with an open mind. As a fan of music,
In an open book.
yeah, an open door policy, whatever. As a fan of music,
Open mind for a different view.
there you go.
I said it wrong, didn't I?
No, you said it right.
Oh, I
Because, I mean, technically nothing else matters.
Okay, now
Okay,
now we're
yeah,
there.
now
Now
we're
we're
on the
there.
same page.
We can continue the meeting now.
Yeah. Who was a performer at
I was
Woodstock
thinking
99?
exactly. It's a good
There you
segue,
go.
or
It's a great
or, or a
segue.
little rabbit to chase.
Yeah.
A little Metallica rabbit.
So I started watching it as I'm chilling out, relaxing before going to Lola's. And
Playing b-ball outside the school.
Jesus Christ.
I don't have much longer, so.
They weren't there.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, are you leaving early?
Well, I got 9:15 or so.
Oh, damn, we're all farting around. You want to do this?
Well, then fuck. We'll save this till after you
Well,
leave.
yeah.
yeah.
Because that's going to
I
be a
thought we were
lot.
going-
Yeah, because
I
this
thought-
is a lot.
I thought we were 7 to 9,
No,
No, we're
8
8
to 10.
8 to 10.
But yeah, I can see why you would think that because of what we on the messages and stuff. Yeah, so
Wow.
I probably screwed that up, man.
What are you doing over there? This is why we need a booker again.
Hey, I try. I gave it the old try. I guess.
And I'm adopting a kitten, so I
Yeah.
have an appointment to pick up the
He's gonna
kitten
go
at
pick up his
9:30.
baby.
Well, then we'll
Is-
save this for when you leave. We'll come
Yeah.
back to Woodstock
Yeah.
99, and I'll tell my love of, or my review of Peace, Love, and Rage,
All right, yeah, then I'll go watch it.
and my aggravation of it.
Oh shit!
I got aggravated really quick with it, really, really quick.
Yeah, you sent me a fired up text. So
Yeah, I've got notes, I've got audio, I've got all sorts of shit for this. But anyway, okay, so over to Joe.
sorry I fucked it up, man.
Oh no, you're good.
So what are we going? You want to do? Let him play some more and talk, or what are we gonna do here? What's the plan? What's the game plan now?
Well, I've had a great time, so.
Well, it's good to see you. All right, we'll see you later.
Go get your cat.
Go get your damn cat.
Thanks for playing the song.
No, we'll turn it over to you. So you released your record.
Yep, the record's out. a
It's
new
out.
record.
It can be picked up everywhere.
Yeah, anywhere, and it's on the radio too. You can request it any Texas radio station that plays Red Dirt and Americana.
Have they been picking it up? Has radio been picking it up pretty good?
Lots of radio's been picking them up. So
Sweet.
Yeah, so it's out there and it's on Spotify, of course.
What about nationwide? Have you been submitting it to radio across the country? Some Red Dirt across the country?
Not as much, yeah. So Americana maybe a little bit, but that's coming up. I'm still learning about all the radio stuff, but Spotify has been a main focus. Apple Music, of course, Amazon. It's on all those.
So you were on the road before COVID shut everything down, or as it was.
Yeah, we were kind of
as things were starting to shut down.
We were kind of fending for our lives, yeah, because we were all shut down for March and April.
Were you on the? Did you have to cancel stuff on the road?
No, we did.
Did you make it back?
These things came up as things were happening.
Oh, okay.
So they weren't scheduled before COVID.
Okay, cool.
They were in response to that.
Because I wonder how many people got trapped on the road.
And I've been so blessed, honestly. Things have gotten better for me, and
because it sucked to be like in Detroit or something, and being like, well,
yeah,
the rest of our road is done.
Yeah,
time to turn around and head to Texas.
Yeah. Well, March 12th was my last gig. We played a St. Patty's Day gig at Landmark. We did a couple of other band gigs out in the colony and stuff leading up to that, but we all kind of knew the shutdown was coming,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But But I'd already started working on these songs because they're songs I wrote on the Camino de Santiago, which is that 500-mile walk. I did that in 2019.
We talked about that last time you were on.
Okay, so I have been back. This is the fourth time then, huh?
I think.
Yeah, because you came on right after you did that.
Awesome, that's right.
Or was he just about to
when
go?
I come back, yeah.
Was he just about to go, or did he just get back?
You just got back.
Yeah,
because
okay,
we were talking about it.
Yeah, so that was July 2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then these are the songs from that journey.
Okay.
And so once COVID.
These are all from that?
These are all from that, yep.
Nice.
And so about July, I started going down to Taylor Tatch's studio again in Dripping Springs. About once a month or so.
So what was the deal again? Just we have some new listeners that hadn't heard that story.
Yeah,
probably you took a hike, right?
Yeah, Camino de Santiago, the Way of St. James. It's a 500-mile walk from one side of Spain to the other, and you just eat olives and drink wine and walk,
hang
all
out.
Day. Yeah.
How long did it take you?
It took me 48 days. So 6 weeks or so.
You still keep in touch with some of those people at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm through Facebook. It's amazing, just as much as I keep in touch with you guys.
Did you carry a guitar with you?
I did a backpacker guitar.
A little backpacker.
Yeah, a little backpacker.
Little Martin.
So I wrote all those on the Martin, and it gave me, it was a really great. I'm gonna do it again. I'm buying my ticket for April 2022, and I'm gonna walk it again.
You are.
I'm gonna walk it as much as I can for the rest of my life.
I want to do
honestly. It's so good.
It
made me a different person. I'm still reaping all the benefits from all the growth that I experienced on that.
Is it? Do you only do it during a certain time?
You can do it. Well, besides winter, yeah. I mean, but you can do it from about April, maybe Marches, depending on if you do a more southern trail, March to about October. But then you don't do it in the winter. A lot of the passes are closed, and it can be a little bit more dangerous. Maybe not I'm not sure if there's a.
What's the elevation change?
Well, when you start, you can start it in the border of France and Spain.
Okay.
And
which year?
Yeah, and so you go over this little mountain at the Pyrenees or something.
I was gonna say that's Pyrenees right down there.
Yeah,
and it was just you by yourself, right? You didn't have any buddies or anything go with you. Right?
No, I did it by myself. But you meet so many people. And I started in Spain. I started in Irún on the other side of the Pyrenees. But you can go on the other side and start there. But it's cold. It was cold for me. I started in April, and I was in the north. I did Camino El Norte, the North Camino, and it was cold for a while. But
how cold?
Oh, 50, 45.
Oh, that's not.
But
too
rainy
bad.
and cold, like
not
fun hiking.
It was raining
that was like
too.
my first week and a half, and then it warmed up as I got into
the hottest
April,
that it
May.
got?
May got hot, 30 or 100, 105.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Where'd you end at?
Santiago de Compostela in Galicia. So I started in Irún, I-R-U-N, and I walked across the north and ended in Santiago de Compostela. Some people walk another 100 kilometers to the edge of the earth, Finisterre.
That's the edge of the earth?
It's the edge of the western world, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the furthermost western point. But I
Still
didn't do
rock
that.
off? You didn't do it?
I went to Toledo and saw some friends. I was
I'm
tired
looking
of
at
walking.
it now.
Yeah.
So, you didn't just grab a boat and run over to Ibiza and party it up once you were done?
Yeah, I went to Toledo, saw a buddy, and then I went to Berlin and stayed there for a week, and then I came home. But
So these songs have were all of them
Pretty
written on the
much
trip?
all written
Okay,
during that little, either leading
And
up to
heavily
going on that
influenced,
trip
yeah.
or during it. Yeah.
that's cool.
And
Man, I want to do something like that.
I do too.
I'm going back if y'all want to go. I'm going to go April. Tickets are $800 round trip from DFW nonstop to Madrid.
You're doing it again in
That's
April.
not bad.
April and May, yeah.
So what you flew into Madrid.
And then I took
Man,
a
that'd be
8-hour
awesome.
train ride from Madrid to Basque Country to
It's
small
8 hours from there north.
Yeah, so
Is it a regular train or a bullet train?
There wasn't. It wasn't a bullet train. It was
Okay.
it had a bunch of stops because you're going through small towns once you get up there.
Okay,
But
so
it,
that's
you know,
why.
but Spain's about the size of Texas.
Yeah.
So it'd be like driving from Austin to Texarkana.
So when you played these, when you met up with some of these people, went to some of these coffee shops and bars and stuff, and hacked a little bit. Did anyone were they like play Metallica?
No, but I
Can
did.
you play
I
Freebird?
I learned a lot of what are the songs people love.
They'd wanna ask you-
They love Hallelujah.
And they wanted you to play it.
Imagine, John Denver's
Yeah.
Country Roads.
John Denver's a big player in Spain, huh?
Man, Europe, because
Yeah.
the Camino, you're just meeting people from all over the world. Like
Yeah,
this isn't
that's-
just
okay.
Spanish people. You're meeting people,
Yeah.
not just European people either, but from Russians and Latvians and it's crazy that John Denver's Country Roads is that popular. And then
Well, it's a sing along,
Hallelujah.
but it's
Hallelujah.
a sing along. Like everybody
Right,
can sing it.
exactly.
And
Same
stuff,
with
so,
Hallelujah and
yeah.
Imagine. But yeah, I opened up to. That's where I started to open up to trying to be more of a stylist.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at now with my live shows. Is like I'm doing 60% covers, but I'm trying to be more like Linda Ronstadt and put my own spin to everything.
Yeah.
Because I realize people enjoy this shit. It's like I can't just continually give you obscure original songs that only 10 people have heard and expect you to have a good time. You need some hallelujah.
Yeah,
in there.
yeah, for sure. Especially doing if you're bandless at the time and doing singer songwriter stuff, then you definitely want to.
Yeah. So I mean, I was busking. I
get
made.
paid
I think
better,
I made
too.
almost 400 euros over the 6 weeks busking.
Damn.
And then people bought me so much stuff. But the songs are all pretty meaningful. And
How long would you do that a day?
maybe
when you did it?
yeah, a couple hours an hour at a time or something.
Till the high wore off.
Yeah. Till
I'm gonna start
I'm out
walking.
here.
How much were you walking a day?
I'm hungry.
I start my first day. I just barely did. I think I averaged about 10 miles a day.
That's
but I
not
think
bad.
I did like 6 miles my first day. But I did 33 kilometers the last day, which would be like 15 miles or something. Maybe.
Yeah.
And that was it, with ease. Like by that time, I was a different human being. Like I've been eating better. Spanish diet's great.
Oh yeah, anything in
I
Europe
can't
is
wait to
great.
get back and
Spanish
do
food
this
is
shit
good.
again. So this, I'd like to go over there and be, have a single, have the El Camino single hit in Europe too.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So
That's the one thing COVID has pissed me off about is traveling to other countries and eating well.
man. I've had to really buckle down. I'm doing Amazon. I joined Amazon.
I went to Trader
Yeah.
Joe's for the first time this weekend.
Yeah.
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 I buy a bunch of shit
I
that
could
rots
s-
in my refrigerator.
Yeah, I know that's what'll end up happening with what I did. But anyway, so I not to just have a show about COVID and Joe Savage, but I could see why people were getting in so many fights and stuff at these Trader Joe's because they're not very big. There's not much room at the one in South Lake. Like it's not that easy to you're gonna run into
Didn't
people
you
and invade
go to-
people's space.
Didn't you go with us in California to Trader Joe's
Did we?
when we bought a bunch of food for the house for the condo?
I don't think so.
We were all
We went to Target.
blitzed out of our minds.
Went to Target and got lost trying to find sunglasses for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, we got blitzed out of our mind at
Unplug this.
go for it. Yeah, at Trader Joe's.
Oh, so well, now y'all made me lose my train of thought. But
Yeah,
We're talking about getting lit.
yeah, just getting blitzed. So if right now you're just kind of still keeping it local, you got your as far as local goes, you have your residency shows.
Yeah, I'm
that
totally
people can see
basically in DFW, and I'm playing at Six Flags for the Best of Texas Festival. That's been amazing. I did 15 days in a row out there, and
That's freaking badass.
I'm every Sunday and Thursday till the end of August.
they give you free
They
food.
do that?
It's amazing.
I haven't
It's
been
the
to Six
best
Flags in a
fr-
few
I
years.
love Six Flags so much.
Where are you playing at?
I'm on where they used to have the gunfights. So since
Oh,
they're just
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
still
yeah,
opening,
yeah.
they don't have
Huh.
that. I guess the budget's not there to pay the entire gunfighting team. So they've been doing other shows there, and I I was the featured artist on that stage for the first 15 days of the festival, and then now I'm every Sunday and Thursday.
I bet you get a lot of listeners from just doing
so
that.
cool,
That's
and
cool
it
as
gives me
shit.
another greater exposure to what's actually going on in the world. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, the diversity of listeners and people that go to Six Flags is so much different than the people who go to a bar. You know, I
Right,
mean,
right.
that's only
Yeah.
one type of person.
We're all bitter dickheads.
We are.
Yeah.
Like, we don't-
Bitter, angry, but
These
there you
people are
get.
coming
These-
around the
they
corner.
don't hate
and
life,
Hear,
yeah.
They hear and see me, and they're like, "Yeah,
yeah, they
you
don't
know?
hate life.
Do
Oh,
you,
It's
uh,
wonderful. It's wonderful.
Are you
So-
allowed to sell merch and stuff out there?
No,
They
but
let 'em?
they pay me so good. You know,
Okay.
it's no big deal. I did ask if I could do that. He said in the past they used to just let you sell merch and they didn't pay you. So, but it's a great gig. And then I'm playing every Wednesday at Rufus Bar and Grill up on Brian Irving and 20. I have a special guest with me. And then every Sunday I'm at Landmark off 7th Street. And both those guys are great to me. They both pay me really well, and it's what has kept me going. Landmark kept me going through COVID as soon as we could, all June 2020 all the way. We haven't stopped again. And Rufus has been there for me since January 2021. So those are great. And then with that, on the weekends, I'm out playing these real honky tonks, and we're playing in Midland at Lone Star Bar. I'm going to the Shack in the Back in Odessa tomorrow, opening up for a bigger name, Bubba Wesley. And yeah, man, I'm just working a lot and really fortunate.
So you mentioned, so you're back in the studio or wrapping up something else?
So yeah,
that
I'm
you're
working,
doing?
and that's another thing. I've just been putting as much money as I can. All the extra money I have from not drinking and doing drugs, I've been giving it to the studio people. But it's great. So I've been going at least once or twice a month, and so last year I was doing once a month. But it's ramped up to where I've got 3 studio sessions planned for August. I had 3 in July. And those are $500 day rates, so it's a pretty penny. But I'm going to come out of this with 20 more songs, not, aside from El Camino. An album one we did with Milo Deering and Scarlett Deering at Acoustic Kitchen, and then another one with Taylor Tash. I had Audio Styles and Matt Tedder's playing lead guitar on that.
Is that his new place?
No, but
Okay.
we are doing the vocals at his new place
Yeah.
next couple of Tuesdays. So I'm excited to finish that stuff. I got to meet, go out to Todd Pipes and Phantom Power and did a vocal session last week.
Good old Todd.
Yeah, I didn't hang out with Todd too much, but Taylor and I got to use the new studio, and that's all just because Taylor, got a good opportunity to sell where he was and moved to Fredericksburg. It's great working with Taylor, man. He's amazing. He did all the instruments on El Camino, all the guitar work, all the any other instrumentation on there he did besides bass and drums, which Alex Cifuentes did the bass and Chandler Sneed did the drums, and it's a really cool album. I'm excited where I'm going with all this music because I finally got a lot of quality stuff coming, and this is real quality.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not. I know.
Don't discount the stuff you had out there
Well,
before. With
I
saying,
have ears too.
Yeah, but
And,
you still were putting out good stuff.
I think there's.
but-
I think
I mean,
there's
we were going
merit.
to tell you.
Well, there's merit to this. Where I stand.
Let me just open up my hard drive here and
Mm.
delete this old shit.
Where I stand on it, there's merit to it if you really like me, and if
Yeah.
you're interested in who I am, you could sit through it. But in the future, the merit will come from having a pop hit or something from these
Yeah.
new albums, and then like, oh, this is who he was. These are all great poems. I like this because I like him as an artist. I don't think that they have any staying power for charting ability or Spotify or things like that. But you never know though.
So
You never know.
you got another thing going that we just found out about too. As you're walking around the yard with some racket on your phone, going, "What's going on? What are you listening to? Who is that?" I'm asking you, and you're like, "Oh, that guy's on my radio show."
Yeah, so
So he's
Deep
got a radio show too,
Yeah,
huh?
Deep Elm Radio reached out to me and asked me to do a country program every Tuesday night at 7. So it's just before this one, and I've tried. It's 80% local and 100% country. So we've been playing stuff like by Sierra Farrell and
Yeah, they couldn't put it on another day though,
Sturgill.
huh?
yeah,
Well, it's okay.
Well,
It's before 8
yeah.
o'clock.
It's
I don't know,
it's
man. I don't
basically
like
it's
this.
basically the warm up to JJ.
Can we?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Can we simulcast it as we're getting ready
exactly.
While we're putting on our suits.
in the pre-roll
Right,
of the
and
show?
the-
While we're
I
getting
mean,
dressed for our
The
show.
cold open.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, while
so
I'm
we're-
getting makeup done, I'll start listening to it.
I didn't know Deep Elm Radio was still going.
It's
Yeah, I
still
didn't either.
going, and I'm doing my part. It's given me a great platform to reach out and support other artists.
Yeah,
so I'm happy
that's
about
awesome.
it, and it's really, it's not that much work, and I don't have high expectations. Although I'm enjoying it, and who knows what's going to happen. So
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through here and start cruising through Deep Elm Radio. They're playing Baboon face down in Turpentine right now. What's up?
There you go. You just
They
won
got
us.
some-
Yeah,
You're right.
Win.
I guess we'll start advertising for Deep Elm Radio
hey,
now.
Deep Elm
Perfect,
Radio.
perfect.
Speaking of which, Baboon's about to do a show.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
I'm all excited about that.
Yeah, that'll be cool. When is that again, and where?
At Mass. I'll
Oh,
look
And
at the
hell
date later.
it's later on down the like in the September or something.
Yeah,
or
I
is
think
it-
so.
Well, yeah, that's cool.
Maybe SF will open it.
Well, I'm glad you're getting out there. I think it's cool. We were talking before the show that you've set up camp out in Granbury, and that's a great freaking launching pad to get out to
Yeah.
a bunch of places around Texas, get away from this
Yeah.
Fort Worth traffic and chaos.
Yeah, man. It's done me a lot of good, honestly. And I'm not hanging out as much in Fort Worth, but I still have my residencies, and those are both where I invite artists to come out. So I'm still in contact with everybody. But yeah, and it's closer to Brownwood, closer to Dublin, and to Stephenville.
Yep.
And a lot of good stuff still happening. In
I've gotten
Stephenville,
into some trouble down there.
Yeah,
Dublin's a
Yeah.
great little town.
yeah,
I
I've
love
gotten
that
in trouble
town.
in Brownwood too.
yeah. We got
They party out there.
we
They
got
don't act like they
Comanche.
do.
Oh,
They
they
party
Comanche. I played
hard.
out there. I mean, they do. There's always a hole in the wall. I play out in Whiskey River down there, and where's that? Leroy. I play down there, Leroy, Texas.
Oh, I forgot. Yep, Leroy's out
Leroy.
there.
But yeah,
Damn.
but the band's gonna be at Magnolia Motor Lounge August 6th with Jordan Robert Kirk, my buddy from Lubbock area.
Saw that.
So
Saw
that's
that.
gonna be badass. And then we got a few more band shows throughout the year.
We
couple
we
of
almost
used
went
to.
down to Sweetwater a couple of weeks ago, or actually it's been a couple of months, right? Then we had to change plans real quick.
No, we
went
were
to-
going to do the Dublin.
Oh yeah,
Trip.
Dublin, not Sweetwater. My bad.
Dublin's cool.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah,
Dublin.
I just played out there. Where did I play out there?
Golly,
Shoot,
man.
let's call it. What the hell is it called? I can't remember. I want to say Lone Star, but it's not. No, the Red Barrel
Red Barrel.
in Dublin. That was
We
really
were,
cool.
we were gonna
Great
hang out.
people,
We were
great
gonna hang
people.
out down there.
Great
we had a bunch of
people,
questions for the
Great
owners
bar.
and stuff.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, that was gonna. Well,
We
you
were
have
going
to
to break
start.
the city down.
I had a good time.
Eventually, all what we're talking about will make sense.
Yeah, it'll all
Someday,
make sense.
like in 10 years.
Eventually, once everything's put together correctly, it'll all make sense. But yeah,
But,
I love that whole 377
Yeah.
stretch down through Brady,
Good times.
yeah.
and then you fork. You either go to Menard or Mason, and then you could hit the home country junction.
Yeah.
That's where all my family's from.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean, I'm driving 281 all the time, going through Hico and Land Passes.
just
and
don't stop at the
Marble
Coffee Cup
Falls.
Cafe.
Is that a?
We know what happens there.
What happens there? Is it the KKK place?
yeah.
The Coffee Cup Cafe.
It is.
I know.
It used to be. They used to have all sorts of stuff on the walls too, the pictures and stuff.
Pretty funny. I've
If-
never stopped in.
There's a great fudge place right next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Do they
you
pack
get
fudge there too, or they send it off for packing?
I don't think the Klan would allow that
They won't allow fudge packing in their town.
in their town.
They gotta send it out.
I don't think they do.
That's hilarious.
Boys ain't doing your fudge packing down here.
Well,
You know.
it has totally been a good time, but I do have to.
It has. I totally
Yeah,
get
man.
it.
Sorry, I screwed it up.
Oh no
Man,
worries.
that's
Way
why
to
I-
go,
that's why-
Matt.
That's why I don't do booking. I'm sorry
Wow.
for the
Hey,
listeners that were jonesing some savage.
Oh, I
Jeez,
think they
Matt.
got their fill. I mean,
They
No,
did, a little bit.
they've watched me for this whole hour.
we'll
There you go.
we'll close the show off with
Swoon
a
the
song. What
women.
song would you like for us to close the show off with?
Are you gonna play one over there? Or
Yeah, we'll play one. We'll play one. Oh, well, actually, we can take a break. I'll put one in. We'll come back and I'll bitch about this goddamn Woodstock documentary,
Perfect.
and then
yeah, yo,
we
go
can
get
close
the
out
album.
the show. So we'll put something in there.
Go get
And,
that
uh,
album.
Definitely go get the album. Go grab El Camino. It's everywhere.
Yeah,
go
you can
grab
stream it for free on Spotify and YouTube. You can buy it,
it. Go grab it.
Awesome.
So
and there's vinyl available.
we'll be right back here in just a second. Oh, you're leaving too? Well, we'll leave YouTube up. Oh, what song you want me to play?
Thinking is the new single,
Thinking.
Yeah.
That's right. And then
or you can do There's a Reason, or Waiting's cool too. They're all cool.
I'll play Thinking now, and then we'll play
There's a Reason.
There's a Reason. Okay, we'll close the show off with that. Let you get on out of here. I'm gonna kill this and this. It's good to see you, brother. It's good to see you. Try to come out that August show
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
out there. It's at Mag.
Max, yeah. We're
Okay.
opening up for Jordan.
Man, keep us in the loop and come in anytime.
Yeah, yeah. Just let us know what's up.
I'll keep you guys posted. I always have a good time.
Well, we like having you. Take it easy. Be safe on 377 and the cops. White knuckling. So, Who's all left in here in the chat room on the YouTube stream? Because I need to know. Anybody? Anybody? Is there anybody in there? Bum, 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 bum. I want to see this. I need to see. Huh? I'm talking to the room. Did he? I don't know. Does everything sound okay? We need some feedback in here. Everything sound okay in the room? Did the intro sound good? I'll make it sound like gold. Zach is in there. Huh? Is this bone? Stubbs wants to know is this bone. No, stop. Man, what is going on here? They did this so fucked up. I hate this now. I hate the way they did this. I hate the way things are going. You just gonna leave the door open? You born a goddamn barn? Oh shit. You know, I'm a big fan of Apple. But they fucked up the iTunes store and Apple Music really bad. Really, really bad. I don't know what it's doing here. Oh, what's going on? I hate it. Yeah, we're on a break. We're about to come back there, RoboTuner. We're just on a break. Joe had to leave. He had an appointment to keep up with and a long drive ahead. He had to go pick up a new kitten. Let's see here. So we're taking a short little break so Matt can get stoned again. Oh, you sons of bitches. Let's see here. There's this, there's this. Why? Why do they do it like this? What does this do? Apple really fucked this up. Or I'm dumb. Which it could be. Jesus, you come in here like a freaking SWAT officer. I nearly pulled my piece. My crucifixio. Jesus Crucifixio Oceano Fusciani. Whatever band you're in. Now we're going to play a new single from Stink Flamingo.
Stink Flamingo should play that in that Boone show.
We should.
That's taking up those slots.
Yeah, we can't be ready by then. We have to practice.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna figured I'd wait till tomorrow to say, all right, let's
Time to go.
pencil something in.
Let's do this. Let's see if we can open for an American Idol band. RoboTuner.
That's our goal.
Yeah.
Is to open up for someone that's been on American Idol.
Yeah, Kelly.
No, Darren.
Oh yeah, Darren.
Told you that's probably the only guy we'll be able to play with.
Speaking of which,
I still haven't listened.
it's goddamn good. Da 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 da. Murder, 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 murder.
I have to be in a mood to listen to my Pinkish Black,
It's not anything like that though.
and it's usually when I'm
It's nothing like that. Nothing.
with a lady.
It's nothing like that.
Nothing like what?
Information age is nothing like Pinkish Black. It's so fucking good. So good.
Are you saying I break my tradition?
Yeah. You're not gonna be listening to droning down beats and massive drums and stuff. It's fucking good.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on here. Search bar, click the I in the upper right corner. It's not here. It's not here. You motherfuckers. Go in here and we're gonna search. And we're gonna do okay. You ready to start this back up? You ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And we're back. And that was Thinking by Joe Savage, who has now left the temple.
We creeped him out.
We creeped him out.
Too much COVID talk. He's like, I'm out, guys.
Yeah, he's like, you guys are making me depressed in my life, and I need to leave.
I was in a happy space before you got here. My headspace
this
was
COVID
really
talk.
good.
We tend to do that. I think we've done that with a lot of listeners lately, too. They're like,
I was feeling good about life until I
I
listened to
like
your
tuning
show.
into you guys to get away from this stuff, and then you guys just keep bringing it back up.
Hey, that's a good point.
Yeah.
We haven't as much lately, though.
No. But it's the big thing that's been fun is, well, we are on a verge of things maybe coming back down. So we need to talk about that because we do go out a lot. And we did make the observation that there weren't a lot of people out this weekend.
It had died down for sure, I thought. Did
Even,
you? Didn't you think that?
Yeah, even RoboTuner said on his show that they didn't have a massive crowd at Mass for an American Idol performer.
There wasn't thousands of people for Jet Noise?
Well, I figured
Like a usual Jet Noise gig?
you got
Just thousands and thousands of people
well,
waiting.
that Zach Persons guy, he's an American Idol attendant or performer or whatever. You'd think thousands of people would be there. Does anybody watch American Idol anymore? Is it still on?
I have no idea, man. I'm the wrong guy to ask about
I don't
American Idol.
I am too. All that stuff. I
I'm
know
all-
The Voice does things, but I don't know if it's still on.
I'm all about Goliath right now.
Oh, you found the Goliath.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Well, what I was all about.
And I think Dwight Yoakam's in it, which is very weird.
Why? He was in Sling Blade.
I know he's in. I guess they're buddies, so whatever he
Yeah.
gets, he tosses it over to his buddy.
The one that always threw me off was the guy that was in that Hope Floats with Sandra Bullock. That guy that's a country singer. What's his name? Did you ever see that?
Mhm.
It's a chick flick.
I think I've seen it. It's where she goes to rehab for like.
No.
And she's like,
Her husband cheats on her, so she moves back to her small town. Harry Connick Jr.
no, he's not a country music singer.
Harry Connick Jr. isn't?
No, he's not.
Okay. He's not?
No, he's a big band like rockabilly.
Yeah.
guy.
It's still got the country twang to it. As I've seen him. You threw
Have
me
you?
off like I was like all of a sudden he's not a singer. I'm like, what?
He actually was a
confused.
judge on American Idol. wasn't he?
Idol. There we go. Full circle.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Does he swim
RoboTuner
in
said
the Olympics?
RoboTuner said that the manager of Zach Person told us they sent their press packet to all the local media and they didn't get any responses back. He didn't send it to all.
Nope, I didn't get one.
How about the biggest local media?
I don't know. I didn't get it.
I mean, technically we have
But then again,
more listenership than the Fort Worth Weekly has circulation numbers.
yeah, and then again, it's good that I didn't get it because I'd been like, Oh, I don't even know who the fuck that is, man.
What's this
Well,
person's?
Some
all
guy
these,
some dude wants to be
You
on our
ever-
show, man.
You ever look through all these emails?
Every once in a while.
The ones that they're all promoting
Hey,
and
we got
trying.
a new
Hey,
artist."
this guy's coming to town. You guys want to talk to him? And we're like, who? And then they're like, and the Tom Petty. And I'm like, well,
What? Huh?
how are we going to interview Tom Petty? He's a little dead.
Yeah.
But you can have the Heartbreakers on.
Yeah.
I mean, you stand behind the man.
Yeah, and I doubt we could afford it anyway. What are we going to pay him in chips?
The
Heartbreakers?
You don't pay them. They just come in here and talk shit.
Well, if the Heartbreakers want to come on the show, I'd just like to let them know there's an extended invitation, and we'd love to have you on.
There you go. We'll have the Heartbreakers in next time they release something.
And Ryan Parsons.
Who is it? Where's the one?
We'll have him on too.
Performing artist Sean McVeary. Would you guys like to have Sean McVeary on? Or would you like to have, what's another one? I don't know. The Jungle Giants? I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah, every once in a while. But the thing is, the real ones though are they'll there's a lot more. You can tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when it's
There's
a
lot
real
less,
one, they're in here.
A lot less. Look up. Can I see your bobs?
Yeah. Huh? All right. So,
Your bobs.
I guess the Jet Noise changed their name to Net Noise in the chat room. So,
Josh and the Net Noise.
as I was getting into it, and I'm going to get back into it again, this weekend I watched the Woodstock documentary. The one that HBO put together that's been talked about for months, that people have been anticipating, because as we all know, Woodstock 99 was a complete and utter failure and disaster. So you remember that Fire Festival documentary?
I mean, the 9 Inch Nails wasn't.
That wasn't 99.
Oh yeah, that was the one that they
That was
did.
94.
That's right.
And that's the problem. Is
Everybody
leading
confuses
up
the
to
two.
this, a
We
lot
had a
of
badass
people
one.
were confusing that they keep saying there's only two Woodstocks. No, there wasn't. There was three.
That's right. You're
There
right.
was the original, there was 94, then there was 99. And the beginning of this, okay, so the very beginning of this in RoboTuner was not because of them. We're going to get into that. He's already talking about shit in the chat room.
What, Limp Bizkit
Boom.
already?
So the documentary opens.
What a podcast spoiler, man. Thomas.
The documentary starts with
come on your
the
show.
director, Garrett Price, saying, we could have set out and made this a comedy, but the more and more we worked on it, this turned into a horror movie. And then it kicks off with Lit, my own worst enemy.
See, that's when I would have left. Out. Later, y'all. I'm going home.
Well, I forgot Lit was on the lineup. So,
Did they headline?
no, we're going to get into that too.
Could Lit headline Lola's now?
No,
They'd have to play before the Methinks?
probably.
Yes.
We've gotten to that point. All right. So it starts off with talking about the 60s, the original Woodstock. And then they hint for about, 3 minutes on 94. And they're talking about how great 94 was.
Mm-hmm.
Which 94
Which
was
amazing.
fantastic. The only issue they had was with any of these,
The weather.
the weather was one thing, but the gates, people crashing the gates. Okay, that happened at every Woodstock, so it's kind of one of those things. You just kind of get over it, I think they said they sold 150,000 tickets to 94, and it ended up like there was 400,000 people there. And the same thing in 99 came around. They actually sold like almost 300,000 tickets, and by the end of the weekend, it was 500,000 people running around. But I mean, besides that, they said it went off great. There was only like 3 deaths, and it had nothing to do with the festival itself. It was pre-existing conditions or things that happened outside of the grounds.
You're talking about 94.
94.
Okay.
And there weren't any assaults, reports of assaults or sexual assaults or anything. So they felt really good about it. And that lineup was ridiculous. It was very, there was a bunch of the artists intertwined with each other. It had the feeling of the original Woodstock because you had a bunch of artists.
It was pay-per-view too, wasn't it?
Both of them were pay-per-view. So you had them in 94. You had they said it was a lot of peace-loving artists, except for Metallica and Nine Inch Nails. They're not really peaceful bands, but other than that, it was freaking fantastic. They did talk about the weather causing a problem, but people had fun in the mud.
It was raining here too. I remember watching it in the rain, watching them in the rain, going, "Wow, this is weird.
This is cool." And I nearly went to 94. I was working at Best Buy at a time, and we had 4 guys drive up there to go to it, and I nearly went with them. But at the time, it was the most important job in my life because I was making money, and my boss wouldn't let me off because the other guys were already off. And I was like, well, I can't do that. I can't leave this job. So after that, they
I don't want your life.
They're talking to the promoter, and the main promoter of this, and the guy that started Woodstock. But they're talking to the promoter, John Shear. He promoted 94, and he was talking about. He talked to. He was talking like they agreed that 94 was so good that they were going to do it again in 5 years. So for 99. So the problem was they weren't going to do it at the original site. They were going to do it at this town called Rome. And there was an abandoned Air Force base.
Texas?
No. New York. But there's an abandoned Air Force base up there.
Yeah.
The Air Force base closed down in 96. 94, 95 is when they closed. So it had been sitting abandoned. So they're like, hey, we can overcome all the issues of people breaking down the fence and barriers. We can keep people in there. We can keep them secure in this giant Air Force base. Hey, great idea. Well, that's where shit started falling apart because they build this wall. There's one part of the Air Force Base they needed to build a wall, so they build this thing called a peace wall, and it's like 3 miles long.
Gonna build a wall,
and it's murals and everything. And it's to kind of keep people in the base. Well, the problem with the base is there's no trees.
Yeah, true.
It's all on tarmac, and in one of the first audio pieces I have here, they're talking about it's the first day of the festival. They did press conferences every morning.
Okay.
This John Shear met with the press, and he's talking to them about what their plans were for that day. The first day went, this is our plans for the festival. It's all happy and hopes and everything. But they talk about the space between the stages. And I'll just play a little bit of this here.
Hey, John and Michael, what are your hopes and what do you anticipate with this festival when compared to previous Woodstock festivals?
Well, our hopes are that people have as good a time this weekend as they did at Saugerties and they did in 1969 in Bethel. This is a better facility than any place we've been. So we think that this has the potential to be, one of the best things we've ever done and be an incredible weekend for everybody who joins us.
Given the distance between the stages, any advice for people who are here for the music?
Yeah. That's true. It's about 2/3 of a mile. And in fact, we have over 100 acts, so you're not going to be able to see everything. There's a tremendous amount to do. You're not going to run out of things to do. You can go 24 hours a day. We're open all day and all night.
We've designed a number of things in addition to the two main stages. There's an emerging artist.
They're just talking about there's a rave, and one of the hangars was a rave stage. They had a skate park. I didn't know they had a skate park until this documentary. They built out a skate park there. But 2/3 of a mile, which a lot of people said no. It was a full mile between the two main stages. So if you were a fan of music, you were trucking back and forth all day long to see bands.
So what were they? I wonder if they were trying to sell it as like what we mean by stage is like where the last people would probably be standing. So and that's where they took the distance from. Is like the
I don't know because you've been to ACL.
Yeah,
it's not that far between stages.
Not not a mile.
Not a
no.
freaking mile. Coachella, it's not that far between stages.
Maybe if you walk to every stage, it would equal a mile or something.
Yeah.
Like,
but the main stages, I'm
pretty sure it's not a mile.
It's not a freaking mile.
No.
And at least you're in a park.
Yeah.
You know, where it's nice and cool and there's trees and shit and there's grass. Yeah. This is tarmac.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that decision, huh?
So
money?
Probably. One of the things this documentary brings up is this is a time with no cell phones. So a lot of the footage they get from this in the documentaries from old DV cameras, because fans were allowed to bring little cameras in.
Mm-hmm.
Or a bunch of people snuck them in, but security started letting them bring cameras in. So a lot of this is footage from people. And you've got, what's kind of weird is as this is starting up and it's ramping up, getting into the first day of the festival, you start getting a bunch of hints of like what this documentary is trying to blame, why this all went down, why this happened.
There's an agenda.
There's an agenda behind it.
There's a case being
put
out there.
And there's a couple of old journalists, Wesley Morris and a Maureen Colley. Well, they bring in a bunch. No, not Vern Lundquist. But a bunch of the MTV VJs are on there too, talking about it. And what's weird is these journalists seem really young, like younger than us. And if this 20 years ago, I was like, what were they, like 12, 13, 14 running around this place? It's kind of weird. But they're jaded. They're 100% jaded on everything.
They're done with it.
They're
before they even got there.
And I really wonder if they were really there or not. If they're just reporting, because a lot of the stuff that's said, and when the blame game comes up, and I've got a whole list of blame game we'll go through, but it's like they are trying to relate what's going on today with everything being
spun,
and you can't 20 years ago things were completely different. Like one of the things that right off the bat they say is that when DMX took the stage, okay, he's got a song, "Love My Bitches, but Where Am I?" Okay. One of the things they say right off the bat is like,
this is when the boob grabs started, or
we'll get to that. But you've got a sea of white people screaming the N-word back.
I hadn't even thought of that.
With an A.
Yeah.
And they said, well, that's totally uncalled for. You can't be doing that. And I was like, by the time 99 came around, I had seen Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg several times, Dr. Dre, Wu-Tang Clan, Cypress Hill, all of them. Yeah. And at some point in their show, they do a call and repeat to where they get the crowd to usually drop the M-bomb or something, or they'll cut the mic and hear the crowd, singing back. And it's usually right when the N-bomb hits. That's something that just went on back then.
Oh,
and it's not.
They're trying to play it like there were people that, like the VJs and stuff, that were appalled by that.
They're trying to say that the crowd being able to say the N-word during DMX's set, and it's not the hard ER, it's the A,
Yeah.
Fired them up and made them angsty. Fired the crowd up and made the crowd angsty. And that it was a bunch of, this is the other theme, a bunch of white males that were just screaming this back at DMX, and it made them angsty and got them fired up. And that was the way, Friday started out, was getting things going. And that's part of the blame of why this weekend started failing. And I was like, what?
Do they cover? Is there anyone on the show, on the documentary, that covers that and says, no, that's not what it was at all? Or they all just jump on it?
No, this Wesley Morris, who's a black writer, is like, this just wouldn't stand. And back then, or he goes, if you ask an artist nowadays if you could use that word in any context, they would all say you can't. I was like, but in the middle of a show, you're singing back to someone that has that in their songs, like Snoop Dogg.
Mm-hmm.
What? It's something, when you're an artist on stage, you want your fans singing back no matter what it is. That's not offensive.
So,
and it doesn't get a crowd riled up.
So
doing
okay. So are you saying that like when God bless I forgot the dude's name. That dude from Compton that was in the NWA videos, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
When that girl that girl got up on stage, it should have been Kendrick Lamar's responsibility to not
Kendrick
do that.
Lamar,
Like,
it came out. Kendrick Lamar said he pulled her up on stage directly for that.
Because she was white and wanted to do that.
Yeah, he did it because he thought it would be funny, and it all backfired because press and media were there, and people took it to Twitter and went to hell and gave that girl hell.
Well, she did it a second time too. Like he said, "Hey, whoa," which I was confused. I was like, if you knew you were going to let someone up on stage, why would you let someone that would just like?
It's come out that's a bit in their show
that rappers do.
No, that he did on that tour.
Oh, it was just a bit?
Yeah. But if you're doing a call and response with the crowd and you want them to say,
I wouldn't do
you're
that
going,
as a musician.
But that's the way it was in 99. People did that. You got to think about
hype mans.
This is the problem with this fucking documentary is everybody is viewing it through
woke guys.
2021 woke guys. 99 was completely fucking different. Everything was completely fucking different.
That would agitate the crap out of me.
That's what agitated me right off the bat because they were all these reporters and stuff, and even the MTV VJs were like, you can't fucking do that. It's just not right. In 99, it was completely fucking different.
So this was just some elitist bullshit that they were trying to throw out there to make people say that. So this is a game. This documentary is a game then?
This documentary...
It's a game. We're going to try to paint white people bad, and
hold on. Let's go through the rest of this first, and then you tell me.
I'm going down the right path. Though?
You're going down the right path. So there is a lot of misogyny going on during the festival because it's a ton of men.
Pre-hashtag me too.
It is. Rosie Perez comes out. They start yelling, show me your tits, show me your tits, show me your tits. And then this goes down, she says she's not going to do it. Well, this leads down a path of where a nudity became a big player there because, it was hot as shit. So, and this was, like I said, another time, girls were taking their shirts off. Some of them were stripping completely down. There were guys that were stripping completely down too. So they make a big deal about girls walking around topless. And how that incited males and started getting them fired up. And
that's what MTV did that whole period. Remember MTV's Beach House?
Yeah. Well,
wait, did some of these people were they ever on this MTV Beach House?
I think Beach House was actually brought up on something, but they said that was part of the culture back then because you had Girls Gone Wild, that Girls Gone Wild culture. Mm-hmm. And that's why, you
had club
girls were taking their
beach
tops off and blah, blah, blah. And it's one of those things like we live in a world that's so repressed or a country that's so repressed. You look at European festivals and women take their tops off and all the time. Maybe not get naked, but take their tops off all the time and it's no big deal. In America, it's a big fucking deal. And I've been to concerts and they start pushing the blame game on women taking their tops off, which we're going to get to because not once, but twice this segment comes up of women taking their shirts off in this documentary, which was kind of weird. They also try to blame, they also kind of, they push the blame towards the water issue there. If you wanted a bottle of water, it was $4, but if you wanted a beer, it was $4 also. If you're a teen, 20-year-old, which are you going to buy? Under normal circumstances, you're going to buy a beer because you're out there to party.
So it wasn't BYOB?
You couldn't bring anything in. They took beer and water from people as they entered. And they showed this like mountain. And then people started paying off security because security was all like voluntary.
Oh, so there was some guys getting paid.
They were like, you give them $20 and you could walk off with chairs or with water or with beer, and take it to your campground. There was no, you can take any food in, and food was ridiculously priced. They had ATMs set up. They show a line for an ATM that's long as shit, and the John Shear guy is like, you're going to a music festival. You should know that you're going to need money there, and that this shit's going to cost money. So this is where it starts turning into profit stock. People are talking about that. So they finally start getting to the bands and the music and the way the festival went. And as they're going through the festival, they're talking about how men back then, white males, were so misogynistic because of Clinton had just been impeached and the Monica Lewinsky thing had gone down. And that was one of the things that affected young men.
I mean, I remember going around raping a bunch of people. I was
totally.
an avid
raper. I just said I have never had sexual relations with that woman. That's all I ever said.
When I heard that DMX song, I lost control of my privates and I just started
totally
raping.
Lost control. They also bring up movies. That movies played a big issue in why men were so angsty back then, because movies like Fight Club and The Matrix came out, and then American Pie made it seem that it was all right to sexually assault women. And I was like, what?
When's there a sexual assault on American Pie?
I guess setting up a camera and watching a girl change her clothes is considered sexual assault.
Oh, yeah. You can't do that. I forgot about that part.
So finally they start getting into real stuff. The weather was hot as fuck. No rain. The water was an issue. There's these water fountains and stuff, and they people had to stand in line for these like communal water fountains. It's kind of like if you go to Europe, there's these big fountains in squares where you can just walk up and put your water bottle in and drink out of or take water from. There were a bunch of those, but people started bathing in them, and people got beat down. So someone decided to start punching holes in got fed up with waiting in line and started punching holes in the water pipe so they could fill their shit, which turned everything into a swamp, which got under the porta potties, and then feces and water. It turned into shit fest, around the porta potties. And within the first day, the porta potties were just done. They never cleaned them. They never came in with a vac truck.
Oh my gosh.
And, like I said, I don't know if I said this yet, but they said there's 10,000 security for the 300,000 people that were planning on being there. And a lot of them just they were all volunteers, and most of them were just there just to have fun and see the bands. And a lot of them abandoned post, especially by Sunday. A lot of them were just gone. There was no security anywhere. But they start getting into music. Besides the DMX stuff, they start talking about how the lineup, which it was full of angsty male rock bands, which at that time...
Is that new metal...
the whole new metal
Korn
thing.
And break stuff by Limp.
So, and we're going to get to that. So they start talking... The interviews they have with artists on there kind of suck. They have Jonathan Davis. They have Dave Mustaine, who's fucking gold.
I fucking hate it here.
They have Moby. Moby's a big player. And
does he talk?
A lot.
I thought he just kind of went.
No, he talks a lot, and he.
That's a Moby song.
When I think, I used to like Moby music, but when I think of Moby, I think of when you say this when you say no.
That's what I think of
when you say Moby. Snowflake.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes to my head is someone like Moby.
Yeah.
Listen to this shit. This is him pulling in his bus. And what they do at all the Woodstocks, in the first one, at 94, at this one, they put all the band's name on this piece of plywood. They brand it or burn it in.
This
or maybe
Moby.
Paint it. And this is Moby. Listen to this little bitch. Ready for this? This cracked me up so bad.
So wait, what was the problem, Moby? I didn't get to film you saying it.
Problem was, see, there's a little expression of ATD, attention to detail. My name wasn't on the piece of plywood.
There's this little piece of plywood that welcomes you when you come in. And all the artists sign. All the artists' names are on the piece of plywood. My name was on the piece of plywood. And
what a little
who's ever even heard of these bands? Element Slash. Let me just, okay, let's find bands we've never heard of. Spitfire. Okay, wait, I'll go to one too. The Umbilical Brothers.
What's that one that starts with an O?
Buck Cherry. Oleander. Buck Cherry. I remember I looked at the lineup and I was like, what is this? Like, how did this happen? How is this called Woodstock? It would have made so much more sense if it had been called like Army Base Rock 99 featuring Limp Bizkit.
So the big thing, the big attack on basically this, besides white male, is also new metal. How this was the rise of new metal, and they do a whole segment of MTV was changing at that time. You had TRL, which was bringing in boy bands, which was still ushering out Korn and Limp Bizkit. You know, they were still sitting on TRL together.
Yeah.
And this boy band was taking over MTV, and MTV was starting to pander to a younger generation. And so the generation that was out there, the fans that came to this Woodstock, which was partially hugely sponsored by MTV, was starting to turn their back on MTV. And when the VJs got there, they got attacked.
I think
pummeled, shit
I
thrown
remembered
at
something
them.
about that, hearing about that.
And it just turned into chaos against them. Like there's a shot of Carson Daly walking out there and just getting pelted by a bunch of shit. And I don't know.
They said that
they kind of blame. There's a blame game on MTV for that was another, like all of this is a reason
between
why
MTV and the artist, or between just all of them. It's like a Mexican standoff.
Well, it's kind of like
the media
with them changing to a younger demographic. This caused white males to be angry. This is another thing. Like all of this is factors that make white males become angry.
We never had aggressive music around
ever. So
until new metal came.
So then the new metal thing comes around.
We didn't have Obituary. We didn't have Cannibal Corpse or any of those bands.
None of those.
None of those bands. We'd never experienced anything like this new metal you speak of.
So they're talking about the lineup and how there's only 3 females. The rest of it is very male driven. And I think on Sunday night, or on Friday night, it's Kid Rock is late in the evening. He's not the headliner, but he's late in the evening. And they kind of turn towards him, and they're saying that when Kid Rock is at this weird spot where he's rap rock, he's not really new metal, and when he comes out on stage, he's wearing a mink coat, and it just goes to show his privilege versus the people in the crowd that couldn't buy water that day or were dehydrated and couldn't buy food and were starting to get angry. And I was like, by 99, I had seen Kid Rock probably 5 or 6 times because there was a time he opened for everybody, or was on Every Family Values. He did all this stuff. He always comes out in a mink coat. When I saw him at that festival 2 years ago,
so is that
he did the same thing,
saying that James Brown was that way when he was doing it? Because that's a James Brown thing.
Yeah. So
idiots. It sounds like people that don't know anything about music is the ones whose opinions got put out there.
So the Wesley Morris, the black writer that I was talking about, and Moby decide to attack new metal. You ready to get angry?
Yeah, let's hear this.
Here you go.
If you look at the history of American music, new metal was just bound to happen. This is a country whose music is basically forged in white people impersonating black people. It makes all the sense in the world that would wind up in this sort of swamp that new metal basically becomes.
You know, a lot of times when white people have embraced hip hop,
that's Moby.
Ignored the funk, they've ignored the R&B, you know, they've ignored the subtlety, and they've embraced homophobia and misogyny. The same thing with metal. There's a lot of wonderful, celebratory, joyful, fun metal, but somehow new metal embraced the troglodyte elements.
It was crap.
I was getting like really pissed. I was like, really? Really? That's what you want to take out of this? Just because Moby never used...
He's still pissed off about
he's
that
like-
sign.
He's still pissed off. He's still pissed off about that whole festival
He's still
thing.
pissed off about Eminem rapping about him and
You know what it
all
is?
those guys getting all the attention back then is what it is.
I got to looking, and I was comparing the electronic side between 99 and
Yeah.
94. And
Moby's probably an incel. Let's face it.
yeah, Aphex Twin and Chemical Brothers were in 94, and he's pissed he wasn't on that lineup.
That's right.
Because they played
Exactly.
the good Woodstock. So...
That's Moby.
That's Moby.
That's a Moby song right there.
So as they're talking about new metal and how shitty new metal is, they mix in this at the same time. It's kind of weird. They mix in this Y2K thing.
Oh yeah.
Like we're approaching Y2K and no one knew what was going to happen. So that also aggravated people. And they didn't know exactly if they were going to make it into the year 2000. So people were amped up. People were amped up and aggressive because of that. And I was like, oh, fuck, please. And then they bring up Columbine.
Oh yeah.
Columbine happened.
Marilyn Manson had
yeah.
something.
Columbine happened a few weeks before this went down. And they were talking about how you can just kind of see how music affected these two kids. And it's a parallel of how it's affecting the male crowd at this Woodstock 99 that I just don't see how anybody just couldn't tell that this was going to happen, because Columbine happened just a few weeks before, and these kids were listening to all this metal music and evil music, and it's going to be the same thing. And it's just so fucking weird. They keep throwing this stuff in there. That's not what was going on.
No,
that's not what was going on. Now,
I remember us like thinking, hopefully they'll accidentally put some extra zeros on my bank account on Y2K,
Yeah.
but that was about all I thought
I wasn't
about.
afraid the world was going to collapse.
No.
And when Columbine happened, I was listening to all the music they were sided with.
Yeah, I was
mean,
too.
a big thing was KMFDM
Mm-hmm.
besides Marilyn Manson. I listened to that forever, and not once did it make me want to grab a rifle and go shoot something up. These are kids that had other issues.
What is happening to liberals? What the hell is happening to? We have seen liberals completely flip-flop. Now
Now, I do want to say
we
something.
don't want to have too aggressive of a music played because it'll cause
Yeah.
white males to
I will say this.
rape babies.
The build-up, how they built out the festival is kind of fucking stupid. They shouldn't have had.
No, yeah, there was
and they bring up
definitely
a point that on Saturday, the lineup went from Alanis Morissette to Limp Bizkit to Rage Against the Machine to Metallica. That's a lot of aggressive music in a row at a festival. Normally, when you go to a festival these days, they try to keep it even till so people can calm down. Or, you know, they'll have rock bands next to each other, but they're not going to be blazing metal bands that want to burn down churches unless...
I don't know. I've gone to some festivals that had a bunch of blazing bands that wanted to burn down churches.
But here's the other aspect. This is true, because if you look at European festivals, you look at Hellfest, you look at
Ozfest that was going around.
Fuck Ozfest, but you look at
Why Why fuck Ozfest?
It was before
Same
all this.
shit. Same shit.
It was before all this, wasn't it?
No, Ozfest went into like the 2000s,
Did
like
they?
the 2008.
Oh, I guess they did, didn't they? But
Actually, we should Google that.
We should look that up. But the Vacuum Festival and the
Monsters
Hellfest,
of Metal, Monsters of Rock.
I'm just talking about the European festivals.
Oh,
how
yeah.
those have black metal bands playing at them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Death metal, black metal bands playing at them, and they come back. There's no incidents the entire weekend. Everybody's there. Peace, love. Go watch that Vacuum
I just don't-
documentary and how they talk about, we've been doing this for years and there's never been an incident of anything. No one's ever died. It's been perfect. And there's, 200, 300,000 people there at those festivals.
No one's died.
That's what they've said in that documentary, that it's always peace and love because it's a bunch of metalheads coming together and they always help each other out. If people have died, it's not been
This
festival
documentary
associated.
sounds racist and pro segregation is what it sounds like to me. And Moby still hasn't been laid yet, so
Yeah. There is one thing that Kid Rock said that I did record. I had to record. And this is at the time period in the 90s.
Yeah.
It made me laugh because I'm just like, it made me laugh in a way like, oh, God, you shouldn't really say that.
Now listen close. You want me to get political? Well, this is about as deep as Kid Rock thinks. Monica Lewinsky is a fucking hoe, and Bill Clinton is a goddamn bitch.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I was like, oh shit.
You need to pull
oh my
that.
God.
You need to pull that before that gets everywhere. Everyone's going to use that. You need to definitely pull that for our show because that's going to be ripped. Play it again.
They go in. Now, there is a good thing. I'll play the rest of this or a little bit after
I'm
this.
pretty sure even back then I'd be like, damn.
Yeah, I think I would have been, if I was in the crowd, I was like, oh, shit. You shouldn't really say that.
Too much coke, man.
You want to hear it again?
Yeah, I want to hear it again.
Hold on.
Listen how convicted
Now
he
listen
is.
close. You want me to get political? Well, this is about as deep as Kid Rock thinks. Monica Lewinsky is a fucking hoe, and Bill Clinton is a goddamn bitch.
Now listen to this. Coming in after it.
And granted, this is over 20 years ago,
Moby.
and I'm still so baffled, like how it went from the sort of progressive, enlightened values of Kurt Cobain and Michael Stipe to misogyny and homophobia and the rape frat boy culture that was at Woodstock 99.
What happened in the early 90s with Nirvana was nothing short of a generational overtaking. The acts and the artists that had been dominating the culture were wiped off the face of the planet by Nevermind. Boy bands, pop music, hair metal, it was all done.
Nirvana actually gave a voice to the unrest that was happening that the gatekeepers of pop culture were not aware of. And so Nirvana just cracked that door open, and it gave an entire generation this purpose and connection.
You had bands that were talking about feminism and LGBTQ rights and anti-racism. And I think a lot of people looked at like rock music and hip hop as these things that could actually make a difference in the world.
I'm sorry, but the hip hop I was listening to and the rap at the time I was listening to was about killing a lot of white people.
Yeah.
I mean, let's cue up Ice Cube the Predator. One of my favorite albums of all time.
So if they were trying to say that Nirvana gave a voice to people that were mentally upset and stuff or emotionally upset, no. That's rock music and punk music's been around forever.
Period.
And this honestly sounds like, from what I've heard, I haven't watched it yet. I don't know if I'm going to now at this point.
You need to. You've got to.
If I, the way, just from what I've heard, it sounds like to me, one, someone's throwing an agenda out there. There's an agenda to this documentary.
It felt really agendaed.
Secondly, it was done by people that don't know a fucking thing about music history or music.
Or they don't remember the time period correctly. They don't remember how things went down. Or they didn't go to shows. Like,
there could be that too. They just didn't.
Like,
they weren't out
the
in
way
the
it
crowds.
seemed was like the way they talked about Kid Rock and the way they talk about Limp Bizkit, which we're about to get to. It's like they'd never seen them before.
Has anyone made any kind of response to this at all?
There's a lot of articles that are
whoa.
like, they're like, okay, we get it. Yeah, there's a lot of angst, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of this shit. A lot of people are like, this documentary is just fucking crazy.
What about any of the acts?
Out of control.
What are they saying? Has anybody spoke from the ones that were accused of like being angry white people music and rape
that's
culture
the weird
stuff?
thing.
Like, has anyone said anything?
The only people that are on there that are heavy is Jonathan Davis, and he talks about their set. Their set was on Friday night after Kid Rock. He talks about their set, how he gave it all and was just going nuts and loved watching kids bounce. And he talked about something which I never put into perspective, how they had 3 sets of speakers set up because it was so deep, and how they had them lined up on delay.
So they would wave?
So the wave would happen. Yeah. And he's like watching that on stage, and then, of course, he when I got done, I collapsed on stage, but then I walked backstage and I had to have oxygen and I had to have an IV and blah, 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 which I had seen Korn a whole bunch of times, and he's always gasping for oxygen, side stage or backstage or whatever. But they're the only ones that are metal that talk about it there, that are heavy. They didn't get Fred Durst in there. They didn't get, which Limp Bizkit is on this comeback right now. I'm surprised Fred Durst was like, sure, fuck yeah. As media whore he is, I'm surprised he's just not, yeah, I'll come in there and talk or whatever. Maybe they cut him out. I don't know. But when it came to the Kid Rock thing, it kind of pissed me off, that comparison. And then they brought, after Kid Rock was Limp Bizkit. And they said when Limp Bizkit took the stage, the bass player comes out, just 2 middle fingers in the air, and immediately right off the bat, everybody that was there for Woodstock was in front of the stage because this was Limp Bizkit at their highest point.
Mm-hmm. It was.
And
doing videos on top of Twin Towers. And
yeah, they were just freaking nuts. So they come out and the crowd just starts going nuts. And Fred Durst is enticing the crowd to be crazy and rowdy. Once again, in 99, I'm not proud of this, but I had seen Limp Bizkit probably 7 or 8 times by this point.
There was nothing new or special about this. Was just
I remember seeing this on MTV when it happened in 99. I remember watching the set going.
I remember it too.
There's nothing different from when I've seen Limp Bizkit in the past. Fred Durst is doing Fred Durst shit. Now, their second album, or it's actually their third album.
When did they go on tour with the barbed wire? Was that Family Values the first one? Or not barbed wire, they had it fenced in?
The Family Values, the first one was when they climbed out of the toilet.
So when
the toilet on
didn't
stage
they do a show or something, or a tour, or it was a Family Values tour? It might have been just Limp Bizkit's tour. They came and they did the whole show inside a fence.
Could have been, but so did Ministry.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly, and Johnny Cash flipped off the camera, and there's a iconic poster that you can get and put up on top of your toilet. That didn't happen in 99.
Yeah,
the angst of 2 middle fingers by the bass player.
The bass player. So Fred Durst comes out and he gets the crowd going, and Significant Other had come out like about a month before, maybe a few weeks before. And Break Stuff is on there, so they start playing Break Stuff, and he brings it up like he's like, have you ever woken up one of those mornings and just said fuck it all and wanted to tear shit up? Well, this is what we're gonna do here, and now's your chance to let all that angst out. Well, that's when people start tearing the plywood off the speaker towers and start ripping the plywood off and they started surfing. And the John Shear guy said he came out several times on stage and told Fred Durst, calm down. You need to calm this crowd down. They're getting crazy. They're tearing shit up. Stop being a madman. You need to calm, bring it down. And basically the documentary shows pretty much all of the Break Stuff performance and how crazy people were going, which could be fancy editing. I think it is. Taking a lot of footage from there, because I don't remember it being that crazy watching it in 99. But I do remember them tearing things up and using the plywood.
I do too.
And surfing and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it being
the other thing I remember is the fire.
God. Well, that's on Sunday. Here's John Shear talking about Fred Durst real quick.
Fred Durst was a moron. He was completely defiant. In between songs, we went up to him, and said, hey, calm things down, He was out of his mind. He was completely out of his mind.
Fuck the Limp Bizkit!
I hate his voice.
That's right.
It sounds like a Limp Bizkit show.
So listen to this part.
People try to blame Fred Durst. I don't think you can blame Fred Durst. Fred Durst was being Fred Durst. He was doing what people wanted him to do.
Which is exactly what I saw.
A normal Limp Bizkit show, he doesn't jump into the audience on a piece of plywood, get passed around and keep screaming, break things, break things, break things.
I've seen him quite a bit.
He caused
jumped in the crowd.
A lot of trouble. It's a miracle nobody got hurt because we still had another day.
How scary was it for you up there when they started ripping that place apart, when they started taking the plywood off the towers and stuff? God.
Dude, it's not our fault.
It gets me pissed off. You see, I'm swelling up right now. It makes me mad because they blame us.
Jonathan Davis.
Rock music has always been escaped. I mean, hey, I feel a connection with this person because he's going through what I went through, and if he got through it, I can get through it.
To blame the artist,
When was that filming?
I think it's too easy.
When was
we
that?
never ask the deeper
that
existential
part of Jonathan Davis talking. When was that filmed? Was that older footage, or was that something that was for the
that's all
documentary?
interviews for the documentary. So after Limp Bizkit, they do Rage Against the Machine. The Rage Against the Machine comes out. Of course, they don't talk bad about Rage Against the Machine.
Oh,
what
yeah.
they did in the
Oh,
crowd.
yeah. No.
They might get a little visit from someone.
Yeah.
But, you know, Rage played their set. And during their set, of course, they bring up how businesses are profiting off this and being, you know, this became a whole profit stock. And that the way government was at this time was also a reason why the crowd would become aggressive. Because I remember in 99, I really gave a fuck about what the government was doing when I was...
That's right around when I started paying attention though, because the Hanging Chad was right around that time period. So that's when I started really following politics, but...
I didn't give a fucking shit until 9/11.
Well, that was shortly after that, so...
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't care. I mean, I watched some stuff with the Gulf Wars going on and stuff, but I didn't...
So
that wasn't part of my life.
You didn't give a shit about the Al Gore and W.
No.
And the start of the Civil War.
I was in the studio that night that vote went down. We were sitting in the studio going, who's going to be our president? Who's going to be our president? We were up at Indian Trail with Alex, and I did not give a shit. We were just sitting there laughing about it the whole time. Me, Seth, and Jerry were laughing about it. So then they quickly go through Rage Against the Machine. Oddly, they didn't play Killing in the Name of.
Oh, I bet they left a lot out.
I was like, why don't you just have Zach pointing at the crowd with his middle finger up going, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. That'd have been perfect for the firing up the crowd and getting them angry. Angst. Make white males going crazy. So then Metallica comes on. Well, but before Metallica comes on, they decide to talk about Napster.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when Metallica came on, this was after the Reload era. They were at war with Napster, and in '99, you know, Napster
Everybody
was big.
hated Lars.
Everybody hated Lars, and everybody was pissed off at Metallica because you went from paying $16-18 for a CD to now nothing. And now it was taken away from you by someone that makes a shit ton of money. So that fed to the angst.
Yeah.
And it's pretty... Listen, they go to Dave Mustaine. This is gold. This is one of my favorite things of the whole documentary, Dave Mustaine. Right here.
For me, I remember back when I was in Metallica that we used to trade tapes. That's how we even discovered bands. I don't know. I can't blame Lars for doing the things that he does. Who knows why a guy does that? I mean, does he have enough money? Probably, right? I mean, I can't, my brain's going, don't say it, Dave, don't say it, Dave, don't say it, Dave. And you're going, say it, Dave, say it, Dave, say it, Dave.
So I thought that was pretty genius, just another jab at Lars. So they wrap up, they show Metallica play a little bit, and while Metallica's playing, there's this whole other subplot of the whole movie, or of this whole documentary. They're talking about this guy that went with his friends. And they were all excited about being at this festival and being able to see all these bands all at once. And his friend has a journal that he's writing the whole day. Well, they lose him during Metallica. His friend's like, this crowd is too much for me. I'm going to go back. And the friend that's writing the journal, his name is David, is like, I'm going to stay here, you know, I'll see you back, whatever. Well, tragedy ensues. And this David guy is the one guy that died.
Yeah.
At what they say is he got hypothermia from being in the pit because you start sweating, you don't know what's going on, you've been out in the sun all day, you can't regulate your body temperature. He had hypothermia. Well, they passed him up the front. Well, the medical team thought he was ODing, so they shocked him.
Ugh.
They put the paddles on him, and it fucked him up even more. They ended up taking him to the hospital where he was in a coma till Monday, and he eventually died. But as they're talking about that story, they also bring up nudity again, women and nudity. And it rolls into Sunday morning about how now guys are starting to get aggressive with women. And they're starting to be more, besides being in the pit, grabbing women as they're
This is when the
getting passed
reports of
over.
the sexual assault started going crazy.
Yeah, the sexual assault started going like Saturday night, Sunday morning. And for a documentary that is very seems to be very anti against, women being treated a certain way, and they make a big deal about this girls gone wild culture and tits being shown and how, that just fires up men. I watched this thing twice. See these hash marks on the top of my page? Mm-hmm. Throughout the documentary, there's 65 pairs of breasts
that they show
in the documentary. There are 7 shots of ass
that they show.
4 shots of penis
that they show.
3 shots of vagina. One of the penises is fleece, and I was not ready for that. Dangling everywhere as he's playing bass. That was kind of wild. So Sunday comes around, pretty much security's abandoned. So these girls are being assaulted, and it's a big whole thing about women being assaulted. There's an attendee there, a female. She wakes up Sunday morning and realizes she's not comfortable, so she leaves because she's like, there was something in the air that just didn't feel right. And that's something all the bands say. They were like, when we played, there was something with the crowd that just didn't feel right. We knew this place was going to erupt. I don't really believe that. Hindsight's 20/20. You can always say that, but
it's probably a bunch of guys as they walk up. Man, they're amped up tonight.
So as they're talking about the women and what had happened to them being assaulted, John Shear, the promoter, says this line, and it made my jaw hit the fucking floor.
No question that a few incidents took place, but if you go back in the records of the police and state police and stuff, you're not talking about 100 or even 50. You're talking about 10. I am critical of the hundreds of women that were walking around with no clothes on and expecting not to be touched. They shouldn't have been touched, and I condemn it. But, I think that women that were running around naked, are at least partially to blame for that.
Talk about victim blaming.
Victim blaming,
victim shaming. Damn.
That made my jaw hit.
How did that make the
floor.
final copy? Like, I wouldn't even put that in there.
I would have. You're shooting this guy? First off, this John Shear won't.
Oh, I thought he was the one that directed the thing.
No, he's the promoter.
Oh, okay.
He
Sorry, man.
He doesn't ever take the blame for what went down.
Of course not.
For the way they set things up. He's
probably
passing
a
the buck.
Elitist.
He probably is, but he's passing the buck on all this stuff. And finally, he passes it off on women. That's why the men did what they did, because of the women.
So technically, it wasn't the men's fault. Is that what he was trying to say?
Well, yeah. And then
dipshit.
Immediately after, Maureen Callahan, who's one of the reporters that were there, she comes with this.
I mean, seriously, the audacity of these guys. How dare you say it's our fault that men can't control themselves? So what does that say about men?
I would ask the guy that put on, the promoter that put on.
The promoter.
Yeah.
That's the worst fucking thing you can ever say, and that it's in this documentary is crazy.
Oh, that reminds me of something that I have to show you when we're done.
Your penis?
No.
Oh.
But it's along the same lines. It's the post that I saw on the musicians of DFW, like some posting, this guy. Like, I didn't want to send it last night because I knew you would be up all night. Like, you would jump into a battle. Because I've seen you jump into battles before. But I got to show you something.
Is it someone we know?
I don't know him. You might. I don't have any idea who this guy is.
So we're almost done with this. One of the things that's brought up real quick about the Metallica when they played, one of the security guys says that the trauma unit next to the stage that they had for the mosh pit during Metallica's set looked like a Vietnam trauma ward. There were just people and bodies everywhere, and they were just giving IVs to people and cleaning up injuries. And
wow,
he said it was just freaking crazy. And there's an EMT tech on there that says he's done Hurricane Ike, he did Hurricane Katrina, and when anybody asks him what's the worst disaster he's ever been in, he's like, it was Woodstock 99. So Sunday morning, all hell's breaking loose. Everybody starts freaking out. They repeatedly keep saying white males are taking over, and white males are attacking everything and attacking women.
Did you count that? How many times they reference white males?
It's about 8 times. So this
we're to blame.
They cut to an interview with Carson Daly that's by phone for this documentary. Listen to what he says.
Attitude. As things started to go down, I remember feeling like things were literally going out of control, and there just became a quintessential moment where we were told by our bosses, MTV and like Viacom can no longer guarantee your safety, like run for it sort of thing. And so we packed a van and we drove in this white van. I remember just like speeding through cornfields like to get away from the Woodstock set. And it really was terrifying.
MTV News made it into as if it was an animal fest, and it just wasn't.
That's John Shear.
Thirsty maniacs trying to kill me.
It was disgusting. I was molested, and I hate all men now.
So terribly got manipulated.
All
by
men
MTV,
now.
especially Kurt Loder. He just wasn't on the team.
There have really been some scary moments here, just with the crowd violence.
I'm just laughing. I think Michael at one point called him a war journalist. That was what he really wanted to be, and this was as close as he was going to come.
Who are they talking about?
MTV. Like
who are they talking about? Wanted to be a war journalist?
Kurt Loder.
Kurt Loder. That's what I thought.
So
he's always reminded me of a war journalist anyway.
So do you remember when, like, if watching the pay-per-view when I got up Sunday morning to see what was going on, or to watch, it wasn't fully pay-per-view, it was also on MTV.
Mm-hmm.
But getting up Sunday morning and being like, there's what happened?
Yeah.
Where is everybody? Like, why aren't we broadcasting from there anymore? What happened? What happened overnight? And so it was at this time. Okay, so like I said, there was the Columbine shooting. There was a nonprofit organization that had a tent out there that the entire weekend they're handing candles out, because on Sunday night, before the Chili Pepper, or during the Chili Pepper set, they were going to have a candlelight vigil for the victims that have died to handgun violence or to gun violence. That's why the fire started.
Yeah.
And when the fire started, I didn't know this, but they caught like the east stage on fire, the main giant stage, because on Sunday night it was just going to be like the west stage. So they caught that entire giant stage on fire. And during the Chili Pepper set, they told them they had to stop the Chili Pepper set. John Shear came out and said, hey, we need you guys to let these fire trucks through to put out the stage. Mm-hmm. We'll let the Chili Peppers play again. And then he said he went over and talked to Anthony Kiedis and said, can you play some chill out music to help calm the crowd down, because they're getting crazy. And they were, by this time, they were going through all the tents.
It was a ruckus.
They were tearing apart the trucks, the
towers.
Supply trucks, the towers were falling over, stuff was burning. There were fires everywhere. Anthony Kiedis even said from the stage, he's like, wow, this looks like it's a scene from Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
And one of the guys says, the entire weekend, he had pretty much gone without water. And when they started breaking into the trucks, they just started taking all the water and food. And he said he had more water in that time period than he had the entire weekend. and that they were finding all this frozen ice cream that wasn't passed around and stuff and throwing it out to each other.
I remember that.
And I remember seeing all that.
Yeah.
And
there was merch too. They were going
merch.
through
They
merch.
stole all the merch. They destroy ATMs. They were ripping the ATMs open, take the money. But so when the Chili Peppers came back out, instead of playing something chill and relaxed, they played Jimi Hendrix Fire.
Yep.
As everything's burning. And that was pretty damning because it set people off even more. They were like, oh yeah, fire, fire, fire. So finally, do you remember who the last headliner was? This shocked me. I totally forgot. The headliner on Sunday night.
It wasn't the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Mm-mm.
The headliner on Sunday night. Britney Spears.
No. Wasn't a player at that time. Or was just getting going.
Madonna.
Megadeth.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering why they were interviewing. I didn't remember them being at the show.
I didn't remember them being there either until it came up.
I was wondering why Mustaine was getting interviewed.
So they bring it up. Megadeth is like, it's the end of the night, and Dave Mustaine says, hey, there's this light over here. You know, this light means there's only 5 minutes left of Woodstock. And so we're going to play one more song,
and
get out of here.
Right to, hey, me.
Even better. It's so fitting. Think about what would be a fitting song.
Symphony of Destruction.
Close. That would have been really good, but there's another one.
Wait, was it? That's me. Isn't that?
Yeah.
Hey, me. Let's see. I don't know.
It's so fucking perfect for a thing that's full of profit stock.
Mm-hmm.
Peace sells, but who's buying?
Oh, yeah.
And everybody, everybody that's there interviewing was like, it was just fucking perfect. It was so good. It was like, that's the thing to end Woodstock with is peace sells, but who's buying? And
sweating bullets.
When they went off stage, the riots kept going. They kept tearing shit up, setting shit on fire, and they had to bring in riot police from different cities to help calm them down. And they said it lasted all night, on into the next morning. I got one clip here. This is the John Shear guy again. Once again, not accepting blame for anything they did.
You know, I think I used this term then. There were a bunch of knuckleheads. You know, a bunch of knuckleheads that caused those problems. And despite those problems, the overwhelming number of people that attended had a great time. Really, the biggest problem was that MTV set the tone. So we got killed in the press. And I didn't figure on Fred Durst inciting a riot.
Bullshit. He needs to go back and look at it. It was 100% a logistical nightmare, and they fucked it up.
So if I remember correctly, the vibe that I got from the news and just from people like up at the radio station, all of that stuff was that the angst and the anger mainly was what you touched on at the beginning was the prices, them selling water for $4, the lack of water, like all the profiteering is what I always believed was the catalyst of that whole thing.
That's what I was always believed too, up until now. You know, now I have to say it was Napster and it was Girls Gone Wild and The Matrix and white guys and new metal and Moby not getting his name on a plywood. That pissed a lot of people off.
Still to this day.
But yes, I was always under the MTV made it out to be the profiteering, and you couldn't bring anything in at all. You know, you couldn't bring in your own supplies to your campsite.
They were trying to make a fat lick.
They were trying to make a lot of money off this.
For sure.
Now, when it ends during the credits, they say that out of all that weekend, there was 44 arrests. There were 8 reported sexual assaults. 4 were raped, but they feel like there were hundreds that were unreported, which, I mean...
Could have been.
A sexual assault, groping a titty is a sexual assault, you know, or flashing your penis at a girl is a sexual
okay,
assault.
so and that being
they're probably worth thousands of them.
That was the thing that I was most disturbed by too than anything. I didn't think of any kind of white men deciding it was insurrection part 1 before the January 6th or something. I never thought that never even crossed my mind. Or aggressive music.
Ooh.
It was
remember that point right there.
Because aggressive music had been around for years.
Yeah.
So but I do remember the profiteering. I remember that was what I always thought was the main cause of all of it. And then I also remember being disgusted about the way that women were being treated at that whole thing. That was that was the two things that I was like, oh man, that was
because you could watch
when good times go bad.
What was bad about the MTV coverage or the pay-per-view coverage or whatever was the camera guys were constantly on tits, constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it started pissing me off. Like I want to watch the band. I don't want to see.
See, how do they explain that?
And just
how does MTV explain that? Oh, that wasn't
tits.
Our fault. We were just showing tits.
No, you had camera guys that were horned up.
And guess what happens when one girl sees another girl get some camera time on MTV?
Same thing.
Same thing. So MTV, I don't think they're going to look good at the end of this. MTV
doesn't look good. This John Shear is
yeah.
fucking him and Richard or Michael or whatever that helped put it together. They're 100% to blame because their logistics team behind it was fucking crazy. Their whole idea of getting volunteers to be security was fucking.
They should have just got the Hells Angels.
Oh yeah, look what happened there. So I'm
joking, but that's a point right there. Look what just happened. You can't say that this was all that crap that they said that everyone was pissed off about, the angst and how Columbine had just happened and white men are just freaking out.
Well, here's the
new metal was the catalyst that sent them over the edge.
So the end of it, during the credits, they're talking about this. The city of Rome only got $200,000. They only made $200,000 from the festival. So. And that there was talks of a Woodstock 50 in 2019, and it was canceled because they didn't want to have to go through all this crap. But here's the big uppercut that this guy gives to Woodstock at the very end.
Another whoa!
Are you a fired up white
punch
male?
To the gut?
Another punch to the gut. Guns. God, I can't even say it.
Glad we're not doing radio tonight.
Shit. Another punch to the gun.
Punch to the punch.
Another punch to the fupa. There we go.
Punch to the what? Huh?
Was that same year is Coachella's first year.
Oh yeah.
Happened a few months after Woodstock. Complete 180. Like they don't really get into if the promoters of Coachella saw what happened at Woodstock, because usually Coachella, the guys that put together Coachella are like thinking 2 years out when they're building that festival, you know. So I doubt that just a couple of months ahead of Woodstock, they were like, oh shit, we need to change this.
Audible, yeah.
But they were talking about how the first year of Coachella, water bottles were handed out as you went in, and there were fountains everywhere to get them refilled. It was in beautiful Indio, California, you know, that's kind of desert, but still an oasis spot where the temperature is different. There were trees and grass, and people took care of things. It wasn't just trashed out. And the music lineup was way more diverse to where it wasn't just a bunch of...
And they took the metal out.
Well, they've had metal there at Coachella.
Who? What's the most metal band that they have had at Coachella? Foo Fighters is not metal.
Well, they've had Rage play there, headline.
Okay, I'll give you Rage.
Metallica's headline.
Coachella?
Yeah.
So they're the most metal that has played there? Most big name?
I want to say Baroness has played.
I don't have any idea.
I'd have to go look through the lineups, but I want to say Baroness played, and I thought Gojira played.
Ooh. Well, then I stand corrected then, if Coachella's had all those guys in.
I want to say, I'd have to go back and look, but I thought, you know.
Well, you're not helping me, man. I'm trying to blame white males and that wear cargos.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, the hardest band that's played there is Beyonce.
Yeah, you're not helping us out, man.
Not helping it out. It's really weird because it sucks watching this. I'm sure the director had good intent and everything, but just lining up all this shit and lining up what's going on in the world at that time. I mean, it helps put you back in the 90s, but you can't blame Napster for.
And he also should have left out modern politics.
What I think it was, a lot of modern politics. Or he should have had these people. He shouldn't have edited up their interviews where they're comparing modern wokeism to what was going on back then. Because back then it was completely different. That's 20 years ago, and everybody was still kind of dumb about everything. We all were.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that's never brought up is there's a lot of mob mentality on things when it comes to stuff like this.
Totally. I mean,
you've been to concerts at Starplex where
seen some mob
where a mob will, where a crowd will rush the stage, and you get caught up in the moment and like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna rush the stage, and you just start climbing over seats and you run up there and you get in the stage. You don't really think about it. It's the way mob mentality works. When you're out somewhere, especially if you're in an area where you're pissed and angry and hot, and you're not drinking or eating well, you're not getting good sleep because you're sleeping on a fucking runway.
Yeah.
You're going to get angry, and you start seeing a group of people start tearing shit up. You're going to be like, fuck yeah, I'm tired of this shit. This probably feels good. Let me get this angst out. You know what?
Shit.
Oh, fuck, these people are tearing these trucks up so we can get some water? Fuck yeah, I'm in on that. I want some goddamn water. That's the way mob mentality works. And all it takes, you can't say that crowd of 400,000 people was all angry white males. Like this documentary makes it out to be.
Yeah.
They make it seem like halfway through it that like every guy there was groping women. And that's just not the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not the way it is. That's not the way people are. And they make it seem like, it's funny, they make it seem like there was no one of color there. But yet then they show shots of the crowd and there's people of color everywhere.
Yeah.
It's very jaded. And I saw a bunch of articles where people brought all this stuff up and they're like, yeah, it's a good documentary. It shows you what kind of shit fest it was. But some of the stuff that's touched on the political,
good. I'm glad
political side of things are ridiculous. The political side of things are just
I'd be insulted. And if I was any of those bands,
I forgot
I would be insulted by all this shit.
He's like Rolling Stone or something was like, actually just put it in their article, was like, this is a documentary that doesn't really remember what the fuck was going on back then.
Just like it sounds like I have not seen it, but it sounds like they don't know shit about music either or music history.
Yeah.
Which would lead me to believe that this is some kind of narrative agenda that was shoved down HBO and MTV. They're like, hey, we got a chance to take advantage of a situation.
I read an article about the director, and he said that he was a student at UT, and got into making films and stuff, documentaries.
How old is he?
And one of the things he got into was he remembers sitting at UT watching the Woodstock 99 and sitting in his dorm watching it. And with a bunch of friends and stuff, and how crazy it got.
So he's like my age?
Yeah, probably our age. And
that makes me more mad at him. That means this is an agenda.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just busted him. You just busted him on the show there.
Sorry, Garrett. Didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. But, you're a fraud.
But it's aggravating because he talks about that, and then he's like, he got lost in a rabbit hole on YouTube finding all these old performances and stuff, and it made him want to do this documentary. And he's even said in several interviews he was going to go one way, but it went this way instead.
Okay. Yeah,
then you're like,
yeah, it went, okay, I'm going to jump on the pile down with Whitey trend. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's good to watch it just to I've left out a lot of gold, but it's good to watch it.
I'll watch it
and to go through it and to
try.
I'd like to see how far you get
before I throw my phone.
Are you gonna watch it on your phone?
No.
You gonna throw your phone at the TV?
Before I immediately march over to the bong.
Yeah, that may be a good way. Get really stoned before watching it.
That way I'm just confused and going, I vaguely remember something like that, but I don't remember that. Oh, you just threw away the whole show, huh?
I threw
Deleted
away
it.
Woodstock 99. My Woodstock 99 folder, I just threw away with all the clips. Two things I want to hit on, man. Before the show started, Joey Jordison.
I saw that.
That's fucking crazy. Well, I knew he had that disease. And because when he got kicked out of Slipknot, don't fall for this shit where
the tweaker shit.
They let him go, but when they kicked him out and fired him, he talked about that he had that disease happening anyway. He didn't know how much longer he'd be drumming.
Because a lot of people were saying that it was because of meth.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
It wasn't at all.
So I had seen him play with Ministry. I'd seen him play with Korn.
Is that how he died? Was from the sickness?
That's what everything's adding up to from what I've seen. It's not official yet what his death is, but
well, that sucks. He was a badass. He was a badass. So, yeah,
badass drummer.
And you're right. The way that whole we don't know the real behind the scenes, but it sounds like from the outside looking in that he was treated really bad by Slipknot. So
he'd been with that band for 2 decades and helped get them where they were.
Well,
and was on all their good albums. Everything after that sucked. Everything after Volume 3 sucks. What?
I'm trying to think of what album Corey had released when I almost got in a fight with him.
It had to have been around Volume 3, right?
I'm trying to think.
Or Iowa.
I think it was after Iowa.
Or did he come in for his other
Stone
Sour
band? It was for Stone Sour. It was
the
first Stone Sour release. I think he was doing an acoustic thing, and him and Jim Root came in. And
Jim Root's on Stone Sour?
I think so. Well, he was there hanging out. I'm pretty sure he plays with him.
I don't know who's.
I don't remember if Jim played guitar because I got kicked out because I was about to go to blows with the wee lad.
That'd have been great.
He was about to get a Texas ass whipping.
I was hoping y'all would see each other at NAMM.
Dude, that'd be so funny because I would hey, you remember getting into it with a blue-haired dude in Dallas at the studio about because you called my friend a cunt.
Nah, man.
Or bitch.
No, I hate Dallas.
Well, yeah, me too. I'm about to move back, actually. I'm in Los Colinas right now, and I think I'm going to move
back to Fort Worth.
Fort Worth, like over by Catchin and 26.
The other thing I want to talk about real quick is something we talked about in the break, but our friend Darren from Pinkish Black,
yes,
threw together or has been working on an album with Joe Rowland from Pallbearer. Paul Bear is badass. They put together this crazy like 80s Italian disco synth pop record that is great. It's called Information Age. It's on all the streaming platforms.
Check it out.
There's don't give me the line. 5 songs, 6 songs, 5 songs. But I've just like the day it came out, I listened to it on repeat. It's so fucking good. It's so good.
Yeah, I was supposed to check it out last week, but never did.
It's good. It's good. So I definitely go grab it, listen to it. It's not anything pinkish blackish. It's not anything pallbearerish. It's like a totally different left field, and it's good, really good.
All right, I got to watch these young men play some volleyball. Okay.
Are they nude?
Unfortunately, no.
The women's
this is not 1999, sir.
The women's beach volleyball.
All right. Thanks, Joe, for coming out.
Yeah, I want to thank Joe.
Joe Savage. Check out his new music.
Check it out. Go grab it. We're going to close with
one of his hugs.
One of his tracks here. Of his new album.
Cabs are here.
El Camino. Here's Joe Savage. Good night.
Not the fart. The fart was me. And it was my mouth, not my buttocks.
What? Dude, well, let me kill this. Let me kill this stream. We're gonna do some talking privately. We're gonna do a private dance or something. Good night. Goodbye. When are you leaving? Oh, okay. I thought you were leaving tomorrow.